To the city of brotherly love as we welcome you to the Wells Fargo Center and the NCAA Wrestling Championships. We are just settling in for the next few hours to bring you highlight as we move into the pigtail matches. And we're going to start at 149 pounds. Oklahoma State, one of those teams to keep an eye on. David Taylor, now the head coach, replacing the icon John Smith. And Teague Travis was a surprise for many when he rolled out Travis at the Big 12 Championships. The redshirt junior out of Columbia, Stillwater High School, has wrestled only 5 matches this year at 149. So as a result, he picked up the 33 seed, a very tough path. But yet, as we've seen time and time again in Taylor's first year, it seems like he has pulled the rabbit out of the hat on a number of occasions, making the right call.
This match right here is going to tell us a lot about Travis. He was at 157, came down, and this is a really early start. He usually has about 4 matches before he gets going, and now he's the first match of the NCAA tournament. Let's see how he came off the scale and if he has the pop to go throughout this tournament.
The winner of these pigtail matches draws the top seed in the opening round. In this case, it's the defending national champion from Virginia Tech, Caleb Henson. Early offensive opportunity here.
He's got to lift up that heel. That heel is going to put his knee underneath it and try and put Jenkins in danger. Pop his head, and he's got that 3 right there. Good job. Whenever you're in that single position and you're between, you want to lift up that leg and continue to drive your opponent towards his butt or towards his back. 3-0, Oklahoma State. Good start.
David Taylor, year 1 in Stillwater, was hired back in May. Has really enjoyed the process of coaching this year. That icon in the sport for so many, whether it was his days competing at Penn State and then all the international success, and now carrying that over into the coaching corner for the first time.
I'm just looking at the screen, and it shows Campbell in the orange, but Oklahoma State in the black, but they have alternating singlets. Getting confused myself.
Quick stand up underneath, and a return promptly by Travis as he works on Winton Dinkins, one of 3 Camels in the NCAA tourney this year for Campbell. First time NCAA qualifier. Trying to get out from underneath, so a 6-0 lead for Travis as we go to the pin zone. And just a few moments ago, here in this pigtail round, Cal Baptist with Hunter Leak, Michigan's Wurtanen. And it's Leak who has that headlock pinched.
He does a really nice job here. Watch his anchor his hips down. He's going to anchor the hips down. Sag, sag, sag. He's not allowing Wurtanen to roll through. Really nice job as he sags, sags, and keeps his foot in. Look at that. Knows right where he is. Great mat savvy. Boom.
You made a good point there, Timmy, that he had the awareness to keep that foot in because there's a cylinder. So even though it's out of bounds, if any part of a wrestler's body is within that cylinder that goes from the outside all the way up to the heavens, then you're still wrestling.
So a good start for Cal Baptist. Leak, the program's first 2-time NCAA qualifier. He picks up the win by fall, so he advances on out of the pigtails as we go back to Travis. A couple of takedowns. Dinkins has had no answer underneath. 6-1, closing in on 25 seconds to go in this second period.
I'm liking what I see because he looks strong. You know, we were talking about him coming off the scale, but he looks like he's coming off the scale at a very strong pace, looking good and accumulating the also important riding time. In this NCAA tournament, it's not just being stood on your feet. You've got to be a good mat wrestler, and Travis is doing a good job right now.
Travis in control, nearly 2 minutes of riding time, so he has this match under control. That gives us time to slip over to another pigtail, and this is Caleb Weand of Michigan State, Marcelo Milani of Cornell. Weand with the 1-0 lead, low-scoring bout, and it will be Milani to start this period underneath. You look at Michigan State, very young trio, TJ, 3 redshirt freshmen as part of their fleet here competing.
Well, and Wien is giving them a spark this year, and then obviously the significant with the Cornell man is that Cornell should never be counted out. They've got good place opportunities, so any points they can score early will be big for the team.
Milan's doing a good job of tripoding up, trying to back into his opponent and then get his hips away. But good riding there by Wheelan. That wizard there. Man, came across the body. Now, we're in Pennsylvania. We're going to call that a cement job if he had got it. We're not going to call it a gator roll. We're going to call it a cement job since we're in PA.
You respect your host. Is that how it works in the wrestling world?
DJ, you know how hard it is. These 1-0 matches, it's all about winning and progressing. Doesn't matter if it's a bonus point. You want to win and keep going.
Well, I was just thinking the same thing, Rock was saying. You right here, you have to make up your mind. What are you going to do? And so Wien was going to try to ride him, but Milani comes out, and it's all tied up.
Tied up. And this is where your conditioning starts to get to you. The nerves, you know, when you just start the first match out there, try to get it out to get the feel going. Got to continue to attack.
This becomes a takedown match. Riding time not a factor. Tied at 1 in the Pigtail at 1:25. We in the redshirt freshman, Dakota High School in Michigan. Marcelo Milani, the sophomore, took 3rd at the Ivies, making his NCAA championship debut.
Right here is when you want to have busy hands. You just don't want to hang on there. You want to keep, watch that little shrug right here. But you want to keep your hands busy. You just don't want to hold. You want to bang, pull, easier said than done because we may not be as tired, but when you have that position, you want to put the weight on your opponent's shoulders, back of the neck, top of the head.
Looking like we're zeroing in on the sudden victory, a 1-1.
Oh, that was that. No takedown yet.
Oh, time ran out. What a tremendous slide by Wien, but time's out, and they're going to step right to the center for a sudden victory. 2 minutes.
Sudden victory, first point scores, wins. It doesn't matter how it comes. Illegal hold, technical violation, takedown, any point scored in his first 2 minutes, and the clock should be going. What's 2 minutes?
Sudden victory on a couple of mats. Michael Wilson, Ryder, Jack McGill, Columbia. They are in the sudden victory. Again, the Pigtail round. Milani in on a shot on the left-hand side.
He's coming back up. A good job by Michigan State to go to what's called a front headlock, trying to bring him to the mat. You want to extend your opponent, bring him out, and then maybe tuck your head right where his rib cage is. They're moving pretty good.
I get so excited here. The last 2 in to the entire bracket, trying to make their way to the #1 seed in this round, and sudden victory.
You talk about last man in, as you see Michael Wilson able to get around to the outside and get it on that leg from Ryder. Wilson literally the last man in. He found out less than 24 hours ago that he would replace Tyler Brennan in this weight class, and now he's in a scramble of the season as far as Ryder and Columbia. These two wrestlers trying to advance on.
Really nice job of a leg pass there to and then nice job of coming up.
Takedown right there. Good job there.
The 3 for Wilson and a Pigtail win for Ryder, a program that last year saw Quinn Kiner become the Bronx 20th All-American. Jesse Dellavecchia, their national champion a few years back, and now Michael Wilson, the alternate who was inserted into this weight class yesterday, gets the 4-1 win. Milani for Cornell wins in sudden victory as well, 4-1. And how about a fall in this Pigtail?
Just driving it over NIU. Johnson has just got to extend himself Now he's got to bring his chest back just a little more, extend it. And what's there in college wrestling, all it takes is 1 second, not two. 1 step, you see the official looking to see if both shoulders are on the mat, just 1 split second. But watch him readjust. Readjust, it gets tiresome when you're fighting off your back like this over and over again. There's a near fall. These guys are fighting hard out here. Fighting hard. You never know what can happen because even though you're on your back, it doesn't take much for it to turn around.
Landon Johnson, Northern Illinois, the 4-3 lead. We are just getting started. Opening session. National champ from a year ago. Coming into this season, the 5 seed, Richard Figueroa, Arizona State. It's a 3-0 lead on Holman of Cal Poly. Not quite 2 minutes into this opening period.
Hey, look at Figueroa. He's not surprised. People say he's a number 5 seed, but last year he was the number 8 seed and went through and won the national championship. He has been an elite wrestler from high school on to college. He's been in a big stage, and he's getting better and better since that first loss, the loss he took, and Lincoln's getting back points.
Yeah, you don't count out Figueroa when you've gone to the top of the podium, and he is seasoned.
Figueroa near full points, so now he is up the ante, leading 7-0. A lot of people keeping an eye on Caleb Smith as the 9 seed. The Big Ten runner-up scoreless as they start period 2. Babin hit his opponent, a transfer from Columbia.
Babin is very good on top, but we remember last year with Smith, he won every match like in overtime. It was like one-point matches. So when you're experienced in the NCAAs, you don't get nervous when it's 0-0 or it's a tight match early. You just keep wrestling.
Yeah, speaking of transfers, Caleb Smith came from App State a couple of years ago, has really fit in for Nebraska. He's good in every position, keeps great position, and really good on top, as you see right here. And so he's trying to establish himself so he can get some riding time, because that 0-0 first period is not unusual for Caleb Smith.
We had a chance to talk to Nebraska head coach Mark Manning, and the words that just kept popping out of his mouth when describing Caleb Smith, the work ethic. He says it's through the roof, really fit in well. His first year, a season ago in Lincoln, and now even more comfortable in the system, but he's in a battle right now with Babin. You see the big mat return scoreless as they hit the halfway point in period 2.
Doing a good job. We will always say this during this broadcast. Mat wrestling is the differentiator at this high level of wrestling. And Caleb Smith's doing a good job as a returning All-American. He knows what it takes. He's riding what's called a tight waist. You see his arm all the way across the rib cage. That's a tight waist, very difficult to get out of. But one thing you don't want to do, you don't want to turn into the tight waist. You don't want to turn into your opponent's elbow because that makes it a lot tighter. You want to turn away from the elbow and slide that hand to your navel and then work your way up.
Babin quickly up to his feet. Smith looking for that return. Brings him back down. Babin just can't quite figure out the puzzle here of getting away. Works his way near the edge. Good job by Smith. Good mat awareness. You'll see him keep that left foot in. He'll try to drag Babin in as well. And just really wise wrestling, letting that clock continue to evaporate.
Doing all the little things right. He has that clock in his head. There is no 5 seconds when you're standing. It's just, are you making an attempt? And he would stand, and then he would go right towards the out of bounds, just as another safety net.
And the mat return will keep with good optics. It keeps the official off him.
Tim, each year we like to key in on some of those wrestlers maybe the country might not have heard of. Your keys to shine.
Yeah, Tim's time to shine here. Here's my criteria. They've never been an All-American. They're not favored by seed to be an All-American. And I think they have a chance, whether it's on the front side or the back side, to make the podium. And at 125, Maxime Renteria started at Illinois. Now he's at Oregon State. And so he'll be at 125. And we'll just work it on up, and we'll keep an eye on those that might sneak through and get on the podium for the first time.
This is where it becomes interesting, because now you have Babin in a position that he is really comfortable. Lethal from this top position. After getting ridden for the entire 2 minutes, trying to cut into this riding time as he has Smith buried underneath.
Yeah, when you are a top man and often choose top, you're in a comfortable position here.
And that's where he makes his money, off the top. You see he's got the leg figure forward, but he's using his left leg to kind of push forward. You see him push it forward. He's trying to hip that leg over.
Yeah, the figure four above the knee. What he wants to do is elevate, and if he can elevate those legs, the shoulders will follow, and he's looking for near fall.
Babin has effectively wiped out the riding time advantage that Smith had built in the second period. Meanwhile, over on the right-hand side of the screen, the Big 12 champion is in the house in Jet Strickenberger. What a season for Strickenberger.
Strickenberger with all the drama when he wins. But here it is. You look at Daugherty, North Dakota State. He actually beat Figueroa, the returning national champion, first round at the Big 12 championship. So we don't know what he's got up his sleeve. Don't sleep on Daugherty. And this is just a really good route by Babin. Continue to push forward. 20 seconds, he's wiped out the riding time.
This is a very important out of bounds for Smith. He gets a restart right here. You get one opportunity. You go on the whistle. You get up and get out of there. This is your one shot.
And right here, he wants to stand up. He doesn't want to do the tripod because the tripod will allow Babin to put the leg in. He's got to stand up, pop up.
Create chaos.
Yeah, he moved a little early there. You stand up. You see the stand up right there. Babin got the leg in. Oh, we're going overtime again. Is this just like Smith last year? I mean, this is crazy.
It really is. One last roll through by Smith. Cannot free himself. Babin rides out Smith in the third period after Smith rode him out in the second period.
When I was watching it at the warm-ups, Smith was working on his foot motion, doing lots of jabs, moving and creating angles. When he shoots on Babin, if he shoots, he's got to finish quickly because Babin has a longer frame at 125.
Babin in his first year at Pitt, transferring in from Columbia, spent 4 years with the Lions, two-time NCAA qualifier. Qualified 2 years ago, won a couple of matches here at the national tournament. Was a nice addition for Keith Gavin and the Panthers to fill a hole at 125.
If I'm Smith, I want to work on his takedown because he clearly, Matt Wreston has been dead even, but Smith is a little sharper. A shot in there. He's cutting the corner. Babin has got him work up, stay above the knee. Don't call potentially dangerous. There it is, potentially dangerous. Oh.
I like what Babin did right there. Got right back up, didn't complain, looking to go again. That was a nice little sweep. They got in on this.
He's in again. Now, this is where you have to be patient with the single. Look at Smith. He's going to try and pass it. When I say pass, he's going to try and bring that foot across his body and stand up. But Babin's doing a good job of laying on that ankle. Tough situation here. Might get a stalemate here. No improvement.
Smith trying to kick his way, and here comes the whistle as you described, Rock. We will get a stalemate as both wrestlers back up to their feet. 43 seconds. It's been Babin with the two shots off the whistle in this sudden victory.
Babin has still got to be consistent. He doesn't want to get sloppy because Smith can get what's called a go-behind. When you have a bad shot, a go-behind. It's these matches right here where confidence starts to build. In on the shot is Caleb Smith. We've got the length problem of Babin. Babin's got good length here. He's in a better position here. But good job by Caleb Smith. We got short time here.
He's looking to cut across with that right arm.
He's going to come through the middle. Can he come through the middle?
Height, height, height. Leg in.
There it is.
Caleb Smith loves to live dangerously at these NCAAs, but he finds a way to get the job done. In sudden victory in the late seconds of the extra 2 minutes, Smith gets the win. Huge win for the Huskers coaches are used to, so that is happening just adjacent to this facility. And then, of course, the action hot inside as we take a look at a couple of matches. The talented youngster from North Carolina State, Vincent Robinson, out to an 8-1 lead over Joey Cruz of Iowa, while Jacob Moran of Indiana has posted a 3-1 lead on Renteria of Oregon State.
Yeah, Jacob Moran has really been tough for Indiana. Angel Escobedo, the head coach, national champion, Indiana's only 4-time All-American as the head coach. He's really been a great mentor to Moran. Moran got an early takedown and then a quick escape by Renteria.
Moran was really wrestling well toward the tail end of the season, heading into the Big Tens. He closed the season winning 5 of his last 6 duels. Started the year 9-1 as well, making his NCAA championship debut, coming off a red shirt a season ago. In the Big Ten semis to Lillidahl, and TJ, you were there. What were your takeaways from that semifinal match?
Well, I mean, that was shocking. And, you know, it sent shockwaves through, and we'll not forget it in the near future.
A veteran like Ramos, tasting defeat for the first time. How will he bounce back in the spotlight of nationals with all that experience in his corner? A 1-0 lead.
And Lillidahl's not a natural or a normal true freshman. He's world class, and so it didn't shock him. But Ramos was undefeated, and I thought I didn't know if anybody could touch him, and so he's still somebody that's going to have to be really dealt with, because I can tell you about Matt Ramos's mentality. He believes with all his heart he's going to be on top of the podium.
Ramos had been so dominant during the regular season leading into that semifinal match. He had not allowed a takedown during the regular season. You look at that 2 seed this year for Ramos, that's the highest for a Boiler since Chris Flieger had it way back in 2003.
And Ramos scores in bunches. Once he gets in, he's pretty astute on top and continues to keep the pressure on there. Good size 125-pounder, and he's very long. He's able to use his length very well.
You know, it's always interesting, TJ, when you look at these matchups. You have Bakersfield and Purdue, Richard Castro Sandoval, the redshirt junior, his first NCAAs. What's the preparation like? These are tricky matchups for these higher-seeded wrestlers.
Well, they are. I mean, and you can't look at it that way, because, you know, it's like in madness right now. A 16 beating a 1. That's what we're looking at, the opportunity right here for the 31 seeds going up against the number 2 seeds. But Matt Ramos in his wheelhouse now, getting on top. He'll go to work, and he'll feel a lot better with this 5-0 lead.
Good to have Bakersfield back in the party at Nationals after not qualifying anyone a year ago. They have 3 competing today with the big name of AJ Ferrari, who we will see a little bit later on this afternoon in this session.
I think everybody here and everybody that's watching looking to see what AJ Ferrari looks like. You may not have seen him because he's on the West Coast, but I'm telling you, he's still as good as he was several years ago when he won the national championship.
Ramos continues to hold serve, a 5-1 lead halfway through the second period. We go back to a tight one with Jacob Moran and Maximo Renteria. 3-2 Moran on top as we go into the third period. Moran starting underneath.
And the winner of this match feeds into the winner of Matt Ramos's match, which looks like Matt Ramos is in good control, and he'll take on, if he goes ahead and wins, the winner of this close match between Moran and Renteria.
Quad pot position. Moran now looking for that switch, turns and faces, and nothing awarded yet. Finally, they go out of bounds, and it looks like, did they give the 2 or just the 1 there?
It was great action by both wrestlers. The leg pass by Renteria, and he came out and gave up 1.
One that was lost control. There was lots of flurrying, and the top man did not have control. So when he went out of bounds, the official said, no one's in control, so I'm gonna award 1, lost of control.
Jacob Moran did not arrive right away at Indiana. He spent 1 year following graduation training at the Olympic Training Center. Grew up, his father was a Chicago police officer. He was part of the Harvey Twisters around the Chicago suburb, one of the premier kids wrestling club on the south side of Chicago.
These guys are moving well. I like the motion Renteria, moving his feet, shifting the body, snapping forward. This is when we're about to see a sprint by Renteria to keep it going, create action.
Yeah, Moran doing a good job of holding position. What Renteria is trying to do, just find that little opening right there, and you've got to pull the trigger in a quarter of a second when you see it.
You can't wait for the perfect opportunity. You just got to get in there and start to create opportunities.
30, Max, 30.
Now you heard him say 30. That means you got to go. There's oh, nice reattack. That was a perfect time reattack.
And what Moran did there, he just dropped. He dropped his level, dropped in on those legs. Tremendous reattack, as you said.
I mean, that is what you drill over and over again, and he hit that perfectly. And reattacks, as you know, team, it's all about timing. It's just timing.
Caution given up top to Moran. No harm there. That's his first caution. You're allowed a couple. The third time will get your opponent on a point. Moran, whose grandparents, Puerto Rican descent. He has a citizenship certificate, which has allowed him to wrestle internationally, representing Team Puerto Rico in several continental games. The 2023 World Championships. He'll give up the late three here to Renteria. Quickly cut and release. 8-6 Moran on top. Man, just a whirlwind of activity by Renteria late.
Not enough, though. As Moran just win and move on. So it looks like they're challenging. Looks like they're talking about something. So maybe they're challenging.
Renteria is begging his coaches to challenge, and I think the officials are going to take a look. Nope.
Quint, what are you seeing down
Timmy
there?
Renteria believes that he cut him, was given neutral, and then took him down again at the end. And he is begging his coaches to throw the brick to take a look at that on video.
It's not going to happen. They are not going to toss the brick. And a little too late for Maximo Renteria. He'll come back on the consolation side. Moran advances for Indiana.
Championships, the Wells Fargo, this place packed to the roof. I mean, everywhere you look, there are wrestling fans representing all the great teams from around the country. And this tournament features potential monster matchups. 4 potential champ versus champ matchups for primetime on ESPN Saturday night. It's a presidential lineup featuring absolute stars of college wrestling. Jesse Mendez won the NCAA title a year ago for Ohio State. Potentially could take on Andrew Alirez, 2 years ago the champion at 141 from Northern Colorado. At 74, Keegan O'Toole, twice winner of the belts. Levi Haynes has bumped up 2 weight classes for the Nittany Lions. That would be a clash. At 184, a pair of undefeateds. Carter Strachey, historical significance. He's won 4 NCAA championships. Parker Keckeisen, he has a ring and he's undefeated. And then at heavyweight, once in a generation, you get to see a wrestler like Gable Steveson. He'll be potentially taking on Greg Kirkvliet, last year's heavyweight champion out of Penn State. 4 key weight classes, potential clash of past champions here in Philadelphia.
The sophomore on the wrong end of this neutral danger call with Kurt Phipps at Bucknell.
Right here you have Phipps that's in there, and he's saying that he's hooking the leg. And now when you're in a single position, you want to try to obviously get 2 legs. But if not, you want to put your opponent in what's called a neutral danger. That means when your opponent's back breaks 90 degrees, you're going to see the official saying, danger, green. And that means that that person that's in green needs to get off his back. You see he's counting danger, green, 1, 2, 3, and then there's a takedown. Neutral danger. It was a neutral danger, and they stalemated it. So the official has to say first, neutral danger, and then count to 3 to get the takedown.
Good start for Phipps, the EIWA champion, as we go back to Nasir Bailey, a 3-1 lead over Derek Cardinal of South Dakota State. Another strong year for both of these programs, Little Rock and South Dakota State.
When we talked to Nasir Bailey, I said, look, do you think guys are wrestling you any differently? He said no. So he has that confidence, and he was teammates with and friends with 125-pounder Vince Robinson. They grew up together, won the Ironman tournament. They are looking to be in the finals together. They say they've talked about this over and over again. These young guys believe that they could be finalists at 125 and 133.
Cardinal to start on top. Bailey goes underneath, a 3-1 lead. Derek Cardinal, the two-time NCAA qualifier, 3-year starter for the Jacks. After he redshirted his first year in 2022, the junior from Forest Lake, Minnesota, 4-time state champion. Was named Minnesota's Mr. Wrestling by the state's coaches. He talked about that moment, proud program at Forest Lake High School, and when he was 4 years old, looking up at that wall and seeing the line of champions one day wanting to join them, and he certainly did.
Knox is very difficult in situation, and look at this. No, is it a cradle? No control yet. He's going to get behind. There it is. Takedown for Tyler Knox. Moving on. Moving on. It seems like when you win a tough match like that, you get a little energy and you pop up a little bit. Looking good.
Stanford, a program to keep an eye on. They have some youth really coming through the ranks. Tyler Knox, part of that youth movement. We'll see Lorenzo Norman a little bit later on in this session.
Lorenzo Norman, he's good.
Just a few moments ago, short time with Reedy and Oakley.
And Reedy gets that leg in. Puts the leg in to seal it. That's 3. Once that leg is secured, even with that wizard, that overhook that Oakley has, Reedy gets there.
Indiana program that has produced 6 NCAA qualifiers in back-to-back years. Rainey, his first year wrestling for the Hoosiers, the transfer from Columbia with an impressive win over Ethan Oakley of North Carolina. We go back to Davis and Phipps, and this has been back and forth. A 1-point lead right now for the 8th seed, Braden Davis.
1-point match, and Phipps has got to get to a position where he obviously creates the action, and Davis has to stay right in the middle. Stay right with that NCAA that you see on your screen. That's what you want to see. You don't want to be on the out of bounds where the referee thinks that you're stalling. And he's done a good job of staying center.
Riding time not a factor in this third period. Minute 20 to go and a 1-point lead for Davis of Penn State.
Davis is doing a good job just staying there, and Phipps has got it. Just like he got that first takedown by creating action and then got the neutral danger, he's got to create the action, close the gap.
Phipps comes in on that shot. Front headlock position now for Davis to work.
Davis can hang out here. He can act like he's moving. He can just kind of pull the head down, look like he's circling. This just eats up clock.
Clock down to 45 seconds, and we get a stalemate. Davis, a 1-point lead. Tim, one of your time to shiners in action right now.
Going against All-American Anthony Noto, and Noto has a 3-1 lead over UNI's Farber. And what a year for UNI, and all 10 athletes here at the NCAAs. Doug Schwab, great job for the Panthers.
The Panther train looks like Braden Davis is in a great position to get the takedown and to seal and ice the match. He gets the takedown and takes the 8-4 lead. Less than 10 seconds left. And he's getting back points.
As Phipps over and exposed, and Davis is going to finish with some near full points as well. And Penn State, with their first wrestler of the day, picking up a bonus point win. Imagine that, the recipe of success for the Nittany Lions throughout their decade of dominance.
Yeah, you can't beat win plus bonus points, and that's what Penn State has done, as you said, Sean, for more than a decade. Braden Davis, the top seed last year at 125, did not All-American, but here he is as the number 8 seed, gonna feed in to the top seed here. Lucas Bird.
What wicked defense by Noto. I mean, he was dead to rights. Somehow he fought that off. On this level, guys are so stingy. You can get in, it's about finishing. That was great defense by Noto and created the defense into offense.
Noto working into 133 and didn't know whether he could move up and have that same kind of strength that he had at 125. He's done a nice job. He's wrestling his best right now, and that's when to wrestle your best right now.
Minute 13 to go in the second period. Noto with the 4-point lead on Farber. UNI qualifying all 10 wrestlers for Coach Doug Schwab.
When you look at Noto, he's tough on top, but their coach, Scott Moore, was really mean on top. He pushed the envelope. I'm not saying Scott Moore was dirty, but he made you know that he was on top and in control. That's my man. Noto's doing a good job of sealing aside. But Farber's also trying to stand up from here. He's got to stand up from here and get his legs away.
45 seconds to go in this second period. Noto is able to go across that 1 minute of riding time. As Farber gets away, let's see if he can find some life. Trailing 6-3, sticks in that right arm underhook. Noto doesn't want to go there, steers it away. Now Farber, a long-range shot. Sprawl back by Noto.
Farber's a big 33-pounder. But Noto's done a good job of circling out. Circling out, when I say that, when Noto's back was towards the out of bounds, he circled it so that his back was towards the middle.
Short time with Noto and Farber in that second period. 6-3 lead for Lockhaven. Nasir Bailey and Derek Cardinal, this has been a wild one.
And Bailey has a lot of riding time, over 2 minutes of riding time. When Bailey gets on top, he's able to do what's a cross wrist, meaning that you can take the arm on one side of your body and reach across your opponent's other wrist. Gets there, and with the riding time, that's the final score.
Bailey advances at 133 for Little Rock. Nasir Bailey, just a sophomore, 2 years, two NCAA tournaments. Hard-fought win over the Jackrabbit from South Dakota State. As we go back to Noto and Farber in this third period.
Tim, I'm really impressed with the quickness of Noto. His feet really get out the way. It looked like Farber was in on a good shot there.
Quickness and strength. He has shown that he's filled out to this weight class, and his quickness, his strength, keeps great position, not letting Farber in. And now, just as I say it, Farber in, he wants to cut that left arm across. Look at him wave that. He's looking to cut across. Going to come up and get the three.
No, he's got to make a decision. He's made the decision.
Yes,
He's got to cut him.
He made the decision. And like you said, well, hey, you've got to push him away. He made a decision, but you have got, wow, he's very fortunate there. They got a potentially dangerous, because you got to get completely away.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, you got to be violent with that push. Doug Schwab on the left, national champion when he was at Iowa. Long time now Panther coach. What a culture he's built.
The score should be 8-6. Farber's back in. He's got to cut across the body. He's got to lift that leg up. Now he's got to work across. You can't go to the hip. You got to stay low.
Exactly. He's looking for that far drive through.
The Panther train is moving.
Love the way he's just thinking, this is my time, the third period. He's driving through.
So Farber now with the 1-point lead, 9-8, as we hit 23 seconds and counting to go. Noto trying to hit a roll. Riding time not a factor. Noto trying to figure out a way to get out and get that coveted 1 point to try to force a sudden victory.
And look at Farber there, just staying in, sagging down. He's got victory in his eyes.
What a comeback. Farber defeats the returning All-American at 125. Farber the winner there, and advances to the round of 16.
Julian Farber, the redshirt junior, his 5th year with the UNI program. A third period storm as he rallies and knocks off the 2-time All-American Anthony Noto. Just inside Philadelphia, but all of the United States. A packed house inside the Wells Fargo Center as we go to the pin zone. Just a few moments ago, Nick Bouzakis, Kai Orini, North Carolina State, Ohio State.
One of the most dangerous guys in the Big Ten when it comes to getting pins and locking up cradles, because once they're locked up, if you ask Bouzakis who's not going to get out from me when I have a pin combination with a cradle, he'll say nobody, and Orini goes down.
Everybody had a lot of wrestling people had this match circled, because it was always known that Bouzakis starts slow, and if he can get past that first match, he can get on the roll. That's a fantastic start for Nick Bouzakis. Not just that, but beating a two-time All-American.
The respect with those two athletes, and Bouzakis, Ohio State flexing their muscle early. He gets the win by fall. How about we pay a visit to the MAC right now, and it's Sean Speidel of Central Michigan, a 4-0 lead over the 10 seed Dylan Shawver of Rutgers. Second period. Excuse me, we move into the early stages of the third period, 1:30 to go.
Yeah, Shawver just a year removed from being the Big Ten champion and an All-American.
In action, Jacob Frost, double-digit points, a barrage of offense on Jason Miranda. 10-0 for Jacob Frost. This is his first NCAA tournament. Evan Frost, the 33-pounder, also leading for Iowa State. He'll be in his second NCAA tournament.
Yeah, the Louisiana natives came up to Iowa and wrestled their senior year at Iowa in Dowling Catholic High School, and then on up to Iowa State. Jacob Frost is an example of next man up. You know, they had those injuries there, and Echemendia goes down. Jacob Frost says, hey, my brother can do it, send me, I'm ready for 141. And he is rolling in his first NCAA.
What you'll notice about the Frost brothers, they do everything well. It's not like they're dominant on top, dominant on bottom, or dominant on their feet. Everything is solid. They are complete wrestlers. And we were talking to Coach Dresser, and Coach Dresser said he can't tell a difference to him. He said if they see them walking, they do everything in sync, and they wrestle in sync as well.
A year that saw Iowa State really get decimated by injuries. You hit on it a little, TJ, the injury to Echemendia. They also lost their heavyweight Bastida. Tough year as far as the health goes for Iowa State, but the Cyclones always show up here at Nationals, and certainly Jacob Frost wasting no time, his first NCAA appearance, and he is going to end it early. The technical full win over Stanford's Jason Miranda. 16 with the riding time, 17 for Jacob Frost.
Yeah, he has to feel really good. He was flowing there, did a great job at anticipation, and I would just say what he looks like is he's flowing well in this first match. Good win.
History at these championships for Bellarmine, and the first of two nights that we will see wrestle. AJ Rollo taking on the champion from a couple of years ago, the national champion Andrew Alirez, in at that number 8 seed for Northern Colorado.
Andrew Alirez has been known for years to have a really good sweep single to his opponent's right leg. The lead leg of Rollo, that's the leg that he usually shoots to. And he's really good at shooting to that leg, but he finishes it high. The leg is up in the air, and he does a nice trip. He works on his footwork a lot.
How about we go side by side with a pair of national champions. Alirez, your national champion from 23 in this weight class at 141. And then on the right hand of the screen, your reigning national champion from Ohio State, Jesse Mendez.
Mendez is another wrestler that has gotten better in all positions. He's the most competitive guy on Ohio State team.
He's one of the most competitive in the whole field. He's relentless, and you know, you talk about who are they? Well, Mitchell Messenbrick, we're going to see 165, and then in the same vein, I put Jesse, because he just continues to come at you. He's relentless.
And Alirez gets his first takedown. On top, he does a tight waist as well. He doesn't turn a whole lot, but he is very controlling from the top position.
Alirez a 3-0 lead. Mintz opening round competition. Pin with a lot of expectations for CJ Composto. He trails Josh Edmond of Missouri 3-1. The Tiger out in front. Here in this first period, 33 seconds to go.
I'm seeing that more and often, that little head brace, you know, guys that are protecting their head, as we've heard about concussions and concussion protocol. CJ Composto, returning All-American for Penn.
Talked about that All-American run for Composto. That was a couple of years ago, 2022. He did it at 141 pounds. He's looked in that All-American form this year, coming off an Ivy championship. He trails 3-1. We get our first look at Coder Hunt of Navy. His opponent from North Carolina, Jaden Scott. They are tied at 1, a minute and counting in that third period.
Jaden Scott came down for 149. Nice takedown by Composto.
Yeah, great takedown. Little drag action, drop down to both legs, kind of lassoed him, and ties the matchup. It's not easy to do on Josh Edmond. He's really quick, and it was just a great execution by Composto.
Coder Hunt's a big 41-pounder. I guess when you go to Naval Academy, you should be big and strong.
Riding time not a factor with Coder Hunt and Scott, so this becomes a takedown match in the third period. Short time, less than 20 seconds to go. Scott, the 29 seed for Rob Cole and the Tar Heels.
In these tight matches like this, he's in on the shot back. Give it a heavy hip stand by Coder Hunt.
Doesn't have a lot of time. Final few moments, and the period will end, and we go to sudden victory. So an upset alert here from Philly with North Carolina.
I tell you, when we look at Scott, he's had a lot of matches that were close that would not go his way, but Coder Hunt's been in his position before.
Josh Edmond got a quick escape on the right there. Really nice job to go out ahead 5-4 with 44 seconds left.
So many good matches first round. I like the fact that everybody's seated.
Coder Hunt, the 4-time NCAA qualifier for the Naval Academy, just missed out on the podium last year, trying to stick in those double unders. Let's see what Coder Hunt wants to do. Working Scott near the edge, looking for that trip, but Scott so good defensively, able to hop skip out of the way.
Coder Hunt could have kept driving forward and Poppy got a out-of-bounds stall, but he's pressing it up. There's a reattack there. Coder Hunt is controlling the shoulders. Looks like we're going to get to a position where they got to get to their feet. It's hard to wrestle on your knees.
55 seconds to go in the sudden victory with Coder Hunt and Scott. Meanwhile, they move to the third period over on the right-hand side with Edmond in a 1-point lead. Here comes Coder Hunt, his best scoring opportunity to get the 3, and he does.
Great double unders there. He just really twisted his body with that, fell into that after the double underhooks, attacked the hips.
Josh Coder Hunt, the 28th Navy wrestler to become a 2-time EIWA champion. He has bigger goals on his mind as he wins in sudden victory. Let's go to the pin zone with you and I and Cale Happel.
As soon as you saw him doing a flying cement job, what did Happel do? He stepped across the body. And when he stepped across the body, he's able to extend. When you have that leg turked like it is, he's got to extend across and lift the leg up. And at that point, all it takes is 1 second. train, get on board.
Gail Happel in his last year, one of the leaders on the team, wants to get on that podium.
Couple of bonus points for you and I as well with the fall. So Happel advances, a tight one in the third period, 141 with Composto and Edmond.
Oh, they give an action call there. A little surprised by that.
Minute 9 in this third period. Josh Edmond, the redshirt junior from Detroit, at-large qualifier. This is a guy that's always been offensive-minded, but right now he's going to have to play a little defense. Composto trying to switch to that double, and you see the hip strength there by Edmond.
Great execution by Composto, and yet Edmond comes out with his hip separation and was able to avoid the takedown there. Great action by both wrestlers. Quickness from Edmond.
Composto's keeping the pressure forward. You see him driving his feet down. Got a stall call. 30 seconds. Riding time is not making a difference right now.
Fourth year at Missouri for Josh Edmond, making his third appearance at Nationals. Was a 149-pound qualifier his first year. The last couple of seasons down here at 141. Always offensive-minded, not afraid to go upper body throughout his arsenal of weapons throughout his time. Short time, and we are going to go into sudden victory.
Sudden victory, first point scored. Doesn't matter how it happens. Keep in mind that Edmond has a stall call against him, so he has to stay center. Composto still moving forward. One thing I've seen about Penn wrestlers throughout the... Could that be it? Could that be it? It's an action call. But what I've noticed about Penn wrestlers, they're very disciplined in their stance and also on bottom. They seal their elbows in. They don't come out of position too often. And by having a good stance like that, when Edmond shoots in for a double, by keeping your stance, you can defend it a lot better.
Straight on double there by Edmond.
Great hip action to defending that shot by Composto there. Now he's working if he can get that crossface, but Edmond holding on like a tenacious dog, and that's what you got to do when you're in on that single. Got the stalemate to go back to their feet.
A minute 8 to go in the sudden victory. Edmond readjusting his headgear as he gets ready for the closing 60+ in this sudden victory. Composto, a great story, unique path. He tore his ACL his senior year at Westfield, then COVID shut down the Ivy. So in essence, he went a couple of years without competing before returning in 2022 on that All-American run. He was coached by his father. He told us last year that his older brother wrestled and he was dragged to all the practices, and eventually he fell in love with it. What a career he has had, the senior from Westfield, New Jersey, in a battle with Edmond.
38 seconds left. Edmond's been in the double, but he's getting high on the hips. There's another, that's a stall. Look at the Reattack there. There it is. What a good job by the Reattack there. They're going to look at that and say, did the table impede or stop that takedown? But to me, it looked clean.
Yeah, I think it looked clean, and what Edmond did was you turned away, and you got to act like you're wrestling in the middle of the mat. You know, you get to the edge, you think, I'm going to turn away, and then you just open yourself up to be lassoed, just like Composto did. Great execution to win.
So there is the double, but watch the Reattack here. Drop down, he secures it. Feet in, even though you're underneath the table. There was a takedown there. That was
At 149, Virginia Tech's Caleb Henson working on Teague Travis.
chain wrestling there. 2-on-1, he slid it to the mat. As soon as Travis defended, he dropped down to a single. One leg started, two leg finished it. Henson's match IQ is really strong.
Benson's going to go on and hold this ride. He gets the riding time and a 4-0 win for the Hokie. As we go to our double box view, and a good one with Chapel of Bucknell right now leading the veterans, Sam Latona, Virginia Tech, and that just goes final. Chapel, the senior, the EIWA runner-up, who really hit a tough stretch late in the year, but he has put away those frustrations, and he pulls off the win for Bucknell, 7-4 over Latona, the 5-time NCAA qualifier.
There was a scramble towards the end of the match, and Latona, who was very good at his single, was already getting across, but Chapel fought well. Moving on.
Titus doing a really nice job on the edge of the mat. Bartlett had him up in the air, and what Titus did was what I was talking about. He acted like he was in the middle of the mat. He didn't, you know, he didn't run away from it. He did his splits, and he kept from being taken down.
Peep out the fact that Bartlett has on 2 different color shoes.
Bartlett, the 2-time All-American, national runner-up last year, the great rivalry with Jesse Mendez. He took 3rd a couple of years ago.
Titus is very good when people get in on him. He's a scrambler, but at this point, Bartlett doesn't have to do much of anything. Just kind of hold position, just wrestle in a very conservative way.
And he's pretty good at that.
Oh. Moving on is Bartlett, your number 2 seed.
4-2 win for Bartlett of Penn State. You know, you look at the era of college wrestling, the transfer portal certainly pivotal. For more on that, here's Quinn.
The portal is radically impacting college sports and the ecosystem of wrestling, certainly. And there's a couple critical portal pickups here in Philadelphia. Oklahoma State.
Dial in on the talented freshman, Luke Lillador. 3-0 lead over Melania of Cornell.
Yeah, I like your choice there, Sean. Now, Tim, you said at the beginning of the broadcast that he is not your average freshman. He's not just a true freshman. He's world class.
He is world class. He finds his way to get into the finals of 4 straight world teams, world championships, age group wise, and where he is best is on his feet, and he's showing it right now.
Light on his feet, shifting weights.
What's interesting is Penn State had the number 1 seed last year, and Braden Davis at 125. They have not had an All-American at this weight class since 2016 when Nico Megaludis got on the podium. Makes you scratch your head, doesn't it? And so people are, the Penn State fans are putting their money on Lilladell to stop that streak.
They call him Lightning Luke for his quickness, his ability to score. The Big Ten champion, 7-2 against the field this year for Lillador. Only losses were to Brendan McCrone by fall. He suffered a 4-1 setback with Rutgers' Dean Peterson, but that has been it for the redshirt freshman from St. Charles, Missouri, a Wyoming Seminary standout. Let's go to the pin zone just a few moments ago with Wazalewski at the pin and Schrader of Central Michigan.
Wazalewski, like the pin wrestlers, continue to attack, and he stayed between splitting the legs, and you see he's holding that right arm down. That's where the back points are coming in, and then he's going to walk up the body. Perfect technique. Walk up the body, keep everything secured, and looking for that fall. Readjust. That's just great technique. Went straight up the middle, then got perpendicular, gets the fall. Wazalewski, he wrestles a hard style, clubs the head hard, continues to attack.
Really good young wrestlers in that pin room, from one fall to another. Pins are starting to happen now here in Philadelphia. Just a few moments ago, Moshe Schwartz, Oklahoma, Sergio Limley of Michigan.
Lemley can do this. He is, they're looking for him to have a breakout NCAAs, and this is the way to get started for the Wolverine.
Limley, the fall. He advances on to tonight's action. Wolverines hoping for a good showing over the next couple of days, and Limley, who has The ability, as TJ described, to hit that big move, able to get the fall. What a year it's been for Little Rock, and they just keep it rolling. One of the transfers they brought in this offseason from Oklahoma State going to work in Jordan Williams.
Well, very sneaky from the position. He peels aside and watch him slide to his side. And then from here, he just goes over and he just absolutely inside trips him and steps over him. He's been doing inside trips for a little while. He readjusts and hides in a tough situation. Once you get to that position in college, you cannot let someone off their back. Little grapevine action, fall for Williams.
Head coach Neil Arisman told us he brings a lot of joy, a lot of excitement to the team, brings good energy. One of those fearless competitors, and he has brought his dynamic approach and growth in so many different directions. What a wonderful find for Little Rock and the junior from Tulsa, Jordan Williams. The 5 seed for Iowa, Kyle Parko, a veteran to this big stage. A 3-0 lead, an all Big Ten showdown with Dylan Gilcher.
Yeah, Parko's done a great job since coming to Iowa of even improving. He's a 4-time All-American, first at Fresno State, then at Arizona State, but his top game has improved so much that he's got all the tools, trying to get on the podium for the 5th time.
It has been quite the path for Parko, who, let's not forget, started his career at Fresno State before heading to the desert, having success wrestling for Zeke Jones in Arizona State, now in Iowa City. Dangerous wrestler, the 4-time All-American, into the NCAA tournament for the 5th time in his career. Ridge Lovett, we get our first look at the 2 seed. A 5-4 lead on Northwestern's Sam Cartella.
Yeah, Cartella came out early, got a takedown, the first takedown on Ridge there, and Ridge got away then. But Cartella making Ridge Lovett think here.
Oh my, look at this.
Getting the count?
Yep. They only gave him 1 swipe. Oh, he's getting multiple soft swipes here.
Gonna get 4. Now we see how deep Ridge Lovett can dig.
That's right. Who would have saw this? Can he do it again? No, they're holding the 4. They're holding the 4. Because he still got that. He's going to do it again. Oh my goodness. What an impressive start by Cartella. He may do it again. I wonder what Nick Rude's doing.
Developing situation with Cartella, the redshirt freshman. This is his first NCAA championship. He redshirted last year, mainly competing at 149. He had the opportunity to wrestle in a couple of Big Ten duels, but a shocker right now with Lovett as we go down to Quinn.
This was an officials initiated stoppage to come to the head table there and look at some video to review. This was not triggered by a brick, so this is just to make sure that they get the back points correct, I believe.
Okay, so it's for the back point. So they're looking to see if it was actual 4 count cue. That could make a big difference in this match.
Lovett starts underneath. See if Cartella can continue to work his magic. He's been able to expose Lovett once. Lovett now quick stand up. Cartella repositioning his grip, trying to thrust up as Lovett hit that roll, but Cartella stayed right with him.
He was right there. He's got a very good ride here now. Now Ridge's got a good job. He's got that heel hook, and he's going to try and swivel his hips.
But when you're Cartella, you don't really mind having your heel hook there too badly because you're in a position you're not uncomfortable with, and you're getting right in time. But if Ridge can keep coming up, and he does, he's going to try to come around and hook that leg just like he did.
Transition wrestling here. Trying to, you see him putting that left arm out? He's trying to stretch his body across to get it.
And he got the reversal, and now he's going to go to work. Ridge Lovett loves to be on top.
Short time, 15 seconds and counting in this period. Been a wild one with Lovett and Cartella tied at 8. Lovett is going to hold this position here. He'll keep Cartella underneath. And we are deadlocked at 8 as we go to the third period. We'll come back for the finish of this one, but let's go to the ESPN Pin Zone with Tyler Kasak.
Got the cradle really locked up tight. Look at him walk that up. His knee, settle in, big pin.
Bonus points are so big in this tournament. Moving on, and Penn State is pretty astute at getting bonus points.
The top seed at 157 Kasak, a win by fall. We go back to Lovett and Cartella.
And I'm going to tell you what happened here. Cartella decided to take top in the third period. He did not want to go underneath Ridge Lovett. He's in his top position, so he's trying to accumulate the riding time or maybe get that near fall again. Good positioning here by Cartella. And what is Ridge back to the same position he was. Lifts his leg and gets his hips a little higher.
A minute 30 to go, third period. Riding time not a factor. Cartella with 29 seconds of riding time, and that continues to mount. Although Lovett close to getting that reversal if he can clear the leg.
If he can't clear the leg, he might look for a cradle here. Watch the cradle coming in for Lovett.
Cartella still's got the toe right there, and that's what's keeping the official from giving that reversal.
And that one, he's got to hold on. He's holding for a stalemate, but as long as there's some motion, it's a good position. Nothing yet. Almost riding time.
Riding time at 57.
Oh,
there's the 2.
And Lovett gets the reversal right when that riding time hit 58 seconds. Lovett has the lead. Mark Manning watching intensely from the corner.
He's got to shake here and try and get out here. He's got to reach for the head. Ridge Lovett readjusted. Now it's a problem here for Cartella. This is where Ridge Lovett is so tough. Sean, you said at the beginning of the broadcast, might be one of the best riders in the NCAAs.
Sticks in that leg. Now Cartella, let's see if he can try to slide his way in between those legs, come through that back door. Time, though, winding down, 15 seconds to go. Lovett trying to survive and advance. Gets Cartella back to his base. Short time, 5 seconds, down to 3, down to 2. Lincoln takes a big sigh of relief. Ridge Lovett, a 10-8 win. You just never know.
Lincoln's been sighing all morning. Caleb Smith wins in overtime. Ridge Lovett.
It's all about raising that arm. Live to fight another day. Win in advance, and that's what Lovett did right there. Survives the opening round scare as we go to Cal Baptist and the top seed Lucas Bird. Hunter Leak, who won his pigtail earlier, 2-2 in the second period. What a moment, TJ, it was for Bird, coming away with his Big Ten championship a couple of weekends ago.
Yeah, avenging his loss to Ayala with a big pin in the finals.
But there's a brick thrown out. There's a brick thrown out, and I'm not sure what the brick is for.
Yeah, the brick is for they feel that there was loss of control and that the league should have gotten an escape.
I've got a great angle here. They want an escape.
Yes.
Brick. Saying the brick is too late?
Yes.
Saying the brick is too late.
Yeah, I'd have to agree there because it was after the out of bounds. They're walking back to the center to get set up again. You got to throw that brick as soon as you think that there's a misapplication of the rules.
I think they threw the brick pretty soon, actually, and so I think they should have been addressed. But now Bird has an opportunity. A ride-out wins with riding time. That's what he's trying to accomplish here, and this is what the elite do.
Mat wrestling.
48 seconds to go in the third period. Bird approaching a minute of riding time. You see him keep that left foot inbounds. He goes over the minute of riding time, so that is pivotal with just 39 seconds to go. Let's go back down to Quinn.
I got the best seat in the house for this match right now, guys. I'm basically on the mat. Tight quarters here at Wells Fargo. Bird showing some heart and some courage now. He's up against the wall here. This is all grid.
And he got a stall call there. You're right, it is great. His own mental toughness there.
And right here, you do not change your tactics right now. You don't let the referee stall call change you in any way. You do right what you're doing here. The worst thing that can happen is they go overtime if he calls another stall because you're going to have the riding time.
Can Cal Baptist find the energy to get out from underneath? Riding time right now with the Big Ten champion Bird. It comes down to the final 17 seconds for Leak. Let's see what he does off the whistle. Not a real explosive start.
He's got to stay on his feet, though. Little back trip action.
This is where you suck it up, and that's what Bird's doing. Keeping the foot in.
Keeps his right foot in. He'll let the clock dwindle, and Lucas Bird with the riding time squeaks on through. 3-2 for the Illini.
Mental toughness right there. To just stay and make a commitment to keep your opponent down. Wrestle smart. Had a stall call against him.
The NCAA Wrestling Championships continue tonight in Philadelphia. Catch the second round at 7 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. For more information, visit NCAA.com, the home for all 90 NCAA championships.
You got a dogfight here in the third period.
And Panero Johnson, this is the type of match that he's in. He has a knack for being in these tight matches and knows how to win in the end. Geoffrey's doing a good job here. Riding time is not making a difference, and we are going to overtime. This is good stuff here.
Jack Geoffrey, Virginia. Steve Garland and the Cavaliers.
And Geoffrey has a stall call against him.
The junior from Clovis, California, bringing the fight to Panero Johnson in the early stages of this OT.
And he is. He's bringing the fight to him right now. He's the one that has the stall call on him, and then Panero dropping him, just like you said there. Rock got the opportunity with a mat return. He's got to end this thing.
He rolled here. Look at the funk. Look at neutral danger. He's got to look at neutral danger. What incredible funk there is by Geoffrey. Geoffrey's going to hold on to that leg and try to pass it or look for a stalemate. Stalemate would be his favor right here because Panero Johnson, he had him. He's going to try and stand up. Now Panero Johnson just trying to hold on. What outstanding defense there by Geoffrey. Wow.
Third year on the grounds for Geoffrey. Injuries have really slowed his progress the first couple of seasons, but he has been healthy, showcasing what he can do.
If you're Iowa State fans, you're not nervous. You're like, I've seen Panero Johnson do this over and over again. I tell you, Sean, you cover Iowa State amount. This is a typical Panero Johnson match. Oh, good reattack there.
And great defense by Geoffrey.
Geoffrey is still holding on. He's locked in the crotch. No takedown there.
If Panero can get his left leg through and hook, he'll have the takedown because he's got both legs. See him trying to hook.
He's got to keep moving. Panero Johnson's got to keep moving because when you stop moving like that, that's when the official will call a stalemate. But Panero Johnson, he's in on attacks, but it's all from rear shots. So you're not worried about stalling if you're Geoffrey.
Short time. Inside 15 seconds to go. Tied at 1. Will we head to a couple of tiebreakers? Geoffrey off that front headlock position. Won't have a lot of time to work. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, and here come the tiebreakers.
Tiebreakers. The referee's going to flip the disc and someone's going to get a choice. And the choice is going to be top, bottom, neutral, defer. He defers to Virginia. Now, Virginia is going to take, I don't know what they're going to take yet. They're going to take bottom. Looks like he's going to take bottom. So, in overtime, it's 30 seconds of continuous wrestling. You just score as many points as possible. Riding time does make a difference.
Sit out by Geoffrey, now explodes up to his feet, and he gets away. That did not take long for Geoffrey.
6 seconds.
6 seconds, as Rock said, for Geoffrey to get the escape.
Oh, good shot there. Another stall call. And that's a reversal.
The three on the takedown for Geoffrey, working on the edge of the mat.
That was a three. I'm sorry, that's a reversal.
He was able to get the escape in 6 seconds, and then edge of mat wrestling from Geoffrey to get the three in this tiebreaker.
Three, and he's also got 6 seconds of riding time. He's got to bring that down. Panero Johnson's in a tough situation here. Now, Geoffrey has got to continue to wrestle. He's got a stall call against him. So what happens here? Panero Johnson is thinking about it, and the coach is going to look, and they're going to go neutral. Smart call by Iowa State. No need to go underneath and waste time. So Panero Johnson gets a takedown. He's got to ride him for at least 1 second. Because riding time is in favor of Geoffrey. What? This is it. Remember, there's a stall call against Geoffrey. Panero Johnson's got to do something. He's got to pick it up. He's got to pick it up. He's going to spin. Enough. He's got to circle. Short time here. Is it enough? We've got a big upset here. UVA Wahoo!
Jack Geoffrey, the 29 seed, the junior, into the NCAA tournament for the first time. Hardware. We are up in the hockey booth, high atop Wells Fargo Center, bringing you the action as we go back to 157. Antrell Taylor, the 3 seed. Conway, Missouri, his opponent, 3-1 here in this first period for Taylor.
Conway wrestled well towards the end of the year. And Taylor, being a 3 seed, has proven that he's wrestled hard throughout their year by earning a 3 seed.
Three to 1 lead for Taylor. Let's go back to the brother combination. This is Ethan Miller. The Millers for Coach Clemson in Maryland. He is leading Chase Saldate, the former Spartan turned Wolverine. Saldate in his 1 year in Ann Arbor, trailing 6-2 as Miller gets another takedown.
Yeah, Saldate, comes over to Michigan just trying to get over the hump. Been around the 12 guy and has never been on the podium. And right now, Ethan Miller's had a heck of a year. He was the #1 seed in the Big Tens, and he's got out under control right now.
Alex Clemson's done a good job of rebuilding his program. It's been a process. And they're building, they've got their people in, they're upperclassmen now. He's expecting a good NCAA championship for the Terrapins.
You go back through the history of Maryland wrestling. They had that dominant run in the ACC with the team titles, transitioned into the Big Ten. And as Rock talked about, Coach Clemson starting to make some headway. Some really good young studs coming through that room, and Miller, one of those guys, the 10 seed, and a 6-3 lead over Saldate. And Saldate says, let's start on the feet. So 7-3, third period just getting started, Maryland and Michigan. Meanwhile, Antrell Taylor, the redshirt sophomore, the returning All-American, with the lead as we pay a visit to the pin zone. Swisher and Seabrick, pin in South Dakota State. Swisher hooking up that cradle.
And he's staying high. Look how he hooked the leg. And then he's going to readjust. Tough position to be in it. And then again, takes 1 second. Philadelphia's Penn University popping hands and throwing up the fingers.
Gregor Chalakian, Stanford, young freshman, Ryder Downey, UNI. This could be fun at 157.
Indeed, it could be. Chalakian, if you get on single on him, he's going to try and throw you. And Ryder Downey is in a position where you get in on him, he's really good at defending. And we're seeing it right now. We call it scramble. Scramble is because you don't know what's going on. Kind of like when you crack eggs and you scramble and it's all over the place. That's why we call it scramble. Like you scramble eggs. When you see people rolling and scramble like that, think scramble, scramble eggs.
Saldate getting back into it, and now he has Miller on his back. Chase Saldate, once down 7-2, looking for the fall here for Michigan.
And if he doesn't get the fall, you just stay right here. You just ride it out. What a comeback by Chase Saldate.
What a turn of events right here. He can just hold position. He doesn't have to do anything. Just stay there. As you said, TJ, just stay there and milk this clock.
15 seconds for Soldate to milk, and he won't have to milk it anymore. The fall and come from behind fashion for Chase Soldate, and Michigan enjoying a pretty nice opening round.
What a relief for Chase Soldate to get through that and start on his way towards the podium.
Pretty tight to the vest. Chalakian and Downey right now, scoreless in the second period. Ryder Downey, the sophomore, Indianola, Iowa, one of 4 captains for Doug Schwab and UNI. He is a gritty wrestler, and you're going to hear that adjective used a lot when describing the UNI arsenal of wrestlers that they have here in Philadelphia. Downey came up with the idea of scrapping Fridays. This is a situation for UNI back in Cedar Falls where they get together during the offseason each and every Friday, and they just scrap. Downey trying to get to that leg. He is in. Chalakian tried to thrust and throw him over. Downey just bunkers down even harder.
Good job here by Downey to push that ankle away and pop the head to the side. He's in a great position here to get the takedown, and there's the takedown. And Ryder Downey is pretty tough on a top position. Keeping the pressure forward. Now he's trying to do a cross wrist. He has it crossed. You see, his right hand is crossed and grabbing the wrist. He's really doing a good job here of keeping the pressure forward. Watch a roll here by Grigori. Short time. And that's being ferocious on your feet. Not to a point where you're not giving up anything. Points are so hard to come by in the NCAA tournament. You don't want to give up anything. And he's going to end this period on top.
3-0 Downey, 49 seconds of riding time. As they march into the third period, Penn State back to work with Shane Van Ness, one of the more explosive, offensive-minded wrestlers in the country.
Yeah, workman-like here. Van Ness comes up, gets the head there with the arm, and stretches out the legs. And now, reverse half, settles in, chest to chest. Gonna come over with the right arm. And headlock and pin.
Van Ness coming into the tournament, 77% bonus rate. That's the highest of any 149-pounder in the country, and he tacks one more in that column with the fall for Penn State. The Big 12 champion, Ben Zerbin right now, Northern Colorado, 3-0 lead. He takes on Blake Sido of Brown. Second period, 1:30 to go.
Brown's an Ivy League team that you want to pay attention to. Coach Jordan Lean is doing all the right things. He's got a really strong coaching staff and starting to get the recruiting in a direction. Brown, a team to pay attention to, not necessarily next year, but in the future.
Northern Colorado, one of those teams as well that could really make some noise this week when you look at who they have. Zerbin, Alirez, Sorante, the Big 12 champion. Poulin, Steve-O Poulin coming through in the lightweights.
Right, yeah, guys that really can move forward. Really can move forward and score points. It's another good match here. I mean, a returning national finalist, Ja'Cory Teamer, is the 18 seed. Against Always Tough. Love it.
Teamer coming off that national finals loss a year ago to Levi Haynes. Transfer from Arizona State into Iowa City. He's missed a lot of matches this year. Was off the mat competing for a couple of months. Had only wrestled 4 matches since November 23rd prior to the Big Tens.
He's got a shoulder harness too, so we know at this time of year everybody's battling some type of injury, some severe, some are nagging. But not only do you have to try to be physically, well, you got to be mentally tough, because you just got to continue to go through. You got to wrestle through pain, wrestle through your weight, and then wrestle against absolutely tough. Oh, nice double there.
Keep him in there. Great job. That's the way to neutralize Teamer. Teamer had the hamstring injury earlier, a little shoulder injury. You talked about it there. He's a little banged up, but I'll tell you, Johnny Lovett did a nice job of getting through the head-hands defense and out-quicking one of the quickest guys in this tournament.
Meyer Shabbat, the number 2 seed here. He wrestled Lovett before, and he said to us that Lovett is unbelievably strong. And when you blow through a double like that, that shows that you not only are explosive, but you are pretty strong as well.
Yeah, Johnny Lovett has been so consistent in his career for Central Michigan. The 6th-year senior, grew up in Miami, Florida. 5-time NCAA qualifier. He was 1 win away from All-American honors a year ago, and now in his final season, an impressive start in this opening period against the returning national finalist Teamer. A 3-0 lead for Lovett through the opening period. To Lovett and Teamer, this was one of the bouts. You look across all 10 weight classes, a lot of people had this one circled. It has not disappointed. Lovett with a 4-1 advantage.
And riding time does not make a difference. Lovett has good head-hands defense, meaning it's hard to get to his hips and his legs. He knows that Teamer has to come to him.
And going to have to do it a couple of times. I mean, because it takes him down, ties him out. He's going to have to ride him out. Lovett really quick escape would still have him have the advantage.
I want to remind our audience as well, they are having technical issues in-house here at the Well with the scoring and the clock. So we will continue to verbalize and vocalize that as Lovett creates a little more separation, and now a 7-1 lead.
Yeah, creation is the right word there, Sean. What a reattack there, down low on the single, comes around, covers him. Wow, Teamer is in trouble, but he gets into a Peterson. He gets the 2 reversal, but Lovett does a really nice job. Quick reaction by Lovett may have saved this match for him.
The referee's going to talk about that. They're going to talk about that. And they're going to see if they believe that the Peterson did occur.
And I think the Peterson did occur as we look at it, but if it didn't,
they waved it off.
Wow. I mean, that's one of those things, man. When you have it, you don't need it very long, but waved off. Lovett really in control here. 46 seconds left. You're up 7-1.
So you can hear a lot of things on Coach Brandon saying, what's the explanation for waving it off? And it says, was it lost control? So Peterson's one of those. So let's look at it. So he sits, spins through Peterson. He's still moving here.
Yeah, I'll tell you, that's close. I mean, I'd want it if I was the if I was the guy coming from underneath. But hey,
one of the things you look for in those situations, Peterson, is the opponent fighting off of his back. If he's fighting off his back, he said, I've given it up. This is a tough call here.
So originally, just setting the bookkeeping here, Central Michigan tossed the challenge. Originally, they did not think there should have been the points awarded. The officials said we're waving it off, so they gave the brick back to Central Michigan. And now the officials are going to take a look at it. They've made the decision. We want to take another look at it ourselves.
Yeah. So you start working on your officials early, getting their heads. So going back to the situation where Teamer is back down on the bottom, riding time has got to be adjusted. 53 seconds into the advantage of Lovett.
Really impressed with Lovett right here. Now all he has to do is keep position. Try to stay in the NCAA logo. But he doesn't have a stall call, so he can give it. He can run a little bit.
Surely can.
30 seconds to go in this match. Lovett with a 7-2 lead.
And they did get the stall call there, but that's the first one.
What's going through the mind of Ja'Cory Teamer right now? came back. I mean, that's just a stall right there. He just backed right out. I mean, it's got like circled just a little bit. So now it's 7-3.
He could take 2 more stall calls and still win. Lovett could. But you don't want to just back straight out. There's what Teamer does. Whoa!
Man, that was shiftiness right there.
That was all hip and feet. And great job. What an impressive upset win by Lovett.
A 5-time NCAA qualifier, back at 157 for the 2nd straight year. Coming off a MAC runner-up, he takes out the national runner-up, Ja'Cory Teamer, 11-3 for the Chippewas.
Watch the attack here and watch him lower his level. Lovett did, fights it off, swivels, and then gets the takedown. Excellent balance there. Excellent balance.
Back to the pin zone. Zerbin of Northern Colorado, Big 12 champion.
Continue to, and Zerbin, he creates weird ways to score. When I say weird, it's not typical. And right when it was rolled, he just stepped over. Once he stepped over, he just got the pin.
Zerbin flexes with the fall for Northern Colorado. Young man trying to bounce back from a tough March a year ago. He was dinged up, injured late in the year, but healthy in a fall and really peaking at the right time. Nick Hamilton, Virginia. Cam Amin, one of the transfers that David Taylor brought in for Oklahoma State. 1-0 Amin.
Monster ride here by Amin. Has got riding time in his favor as well. So not only does Hamilton need to escape, he's got to score again.
Yeah, good point. Amin, he understands that he can give up 1, not 2.
We've grown up hearing that all the time. 1, not 2. 1, not 2. This is the prime example. Give up an escape, but don't give up a reversal.
Amin, Fish, Hamady, all in the Big Ten last year, and all at the same weight. They get to Oklahoma State and they spread it out. 57, 65, 74. Cowboys hit a little bit of gold when they got those 3.
I'm so very impressed where you have wrestlers that have made a conscious decision to ride someone out in the 3rd period. And Amin has done it. He got a stall call against him, so he's still got to wrestle smart. Good motion there. Really good job there by Amin. Tommy tough, hard-nosed wrestling. 5 seconds left. Gritty win. All you want to do is win and advance.
Amin approaching 2 minutes of riding time. Very calm, cool, and poised David Taylor watching on. He'll get the riding time and a 2-0 win over Hamilton of Virginia.
Mat wrestling makes a difference at this tournament.
To come back to Minnesota, Kirk Fleet, the defending champion for Penn State. Some of the storylines that we're going to be dialed into as we hit these upper weights. The brothers, again, several sets of brothers competing, and right now both Bianchis are at it for Little Rock.
One of the bright spots for Mark Manning in Nebraska, Christopher Minto, part of the Minto-Pinto 1-2 punch at 74 and 84, or 65 and 74.
It's interesting how you normally see when 2 wrestlers that are brothers, they oftentimes go to the same school. Sometimes when there's an age discrepancy, but many times when you have twins, they go, but it's always good going there with family.
Matty Bianchi in a little bit better shape than his brother right now, tied at 1. Scott, though, just as I say that, gets the escape. So Ed Scott, North Carolina State, a 2-1 lead. Minto continuing to work on Joey Bianchi at a 9-1 advantage for Minto.
Tough situation there. What strength there by Scott. That's grown man strength there. He was on his butt, locked around the rib cage, and somehow Scott was able to muscle through that.
We were talking to the Little Rock coaches last week, and he was talking about the Bianchis when they were younger. Their favorite movies, appropriately enough, were the Rocky Balboa movies. They would have their own boxing matches upstairs in the Bianchi household. What a thrill it must be, side by side, wrestling representing still this very young Little Rock program. Bianchi trying to hit that double near the edge. Scott knew exactly where he was as he circled out of bounds. Pat Papalizio in that Wolfpack corner offering some free advice.
And Scott's a returning All-American. He's been in the blood rounds before, so he knows what it is to win these tight, gritty matches. Bianchi's doing a good job of pacing himself and moving forward. He just keeps shooting. Keep shooting. But Ed Scott's very comfortable with the underhook. He's been doing that since high school. Underhook. Oh, this is tough wrestling right here. There's a stall call. 1 point. So it's tied up.
15 seconds to go. The stall on Scott ties it up. Now those double unders. Scott driving ahead. 6 seconds. And we will head to sudden victory at 157 pounds. So Ed Scott, Matty Bianchi.
Ed Scott's going back to that underhook. And Matty is keeping the pressure moving forward. He looks a little light on his feet.
These two wrestlers have pretty much faced every situation possible. Both veterans in their respective rooms. Bianchi in on that left leg. Can't quite grab that far leg. Now the chest wrap by Scott.
Tough situation there, not quite two. His head is still tough. Not yet, there it is. Bianchi, tough wrestling there. Got the stall call in regulation. Finishes it in overtime. Moving on.
The Pac-12 champion takes down the two-time ACC champion and Ed Scott. Bianchi, your winner in sudden victory, 5-2 for the junior from Two Rivers, Wisconsin. How about a visit to the pin zone?
Boy, Braden Scholes, redshirt freshman for the Illini, comes from that Astrid Academy, making his mark here. That's a big-time pin here for Scholes in his first NCAA championship.
Scholes, your winner by fall for Illinois. A wild one at 165. Jack Thompson, Northern Iowa. Drake Rhodes, South Dakota State. Rhodes out of Billings, Montana. Billings West High School. Transferred in from Iowa, one of 3 Hawkeyes to join the Jacks this offseason. Jack Thompson, redshirt senior, 2-time NCAA qualifier for UNI.
And we're approaching about a 1 minute left. Good scramble there.
Really nice job by Thompson there of keeping the action going, lower his level, went to one side, redirected, dropped to the leg on the other side, found the far leg and secured the takedown.
This has to feel pretty good right now for Thompson, who ironically started his career at South Dakota State. Spent his first 3 years in Brookings, made the decision to transfer, join his older brother Max, who wrestled for UNI. Max was an All-American for Coach Schwab, and right now Jack Thompson, a 12-8 lead late in this third period.
Yeah, 20 seconds left. He's in control, just needs to keep Rhodes stretched out. And he's stretching that leg out there. And you're going nowhere when you've got your leg extended and hooked back there. And Thompson doesn't care whether he gets called for stalling. It's just about the win.
Thompson defeats his old team. UNI, a first-round win at 165. Just a few moments ago, as we continue with our whip around coverage. Again, if you want to follow all these individual matches, you can go to ESPN Plus and the MacCast. This was Andrew Sparks trying to put the finishing touches on the Citadel Snipes. A 4-1 lead for Sparks.
You see how he's defending by keeping his elbows in. You don't want your elbows out because that gives what's called a peek out. But when you keep your elbows in like a praying mantis, that allows you to control the scapula area, the shoulder blades. Good finish for Sparks.
Four-time NCAA qualifier looking for his first All-American run. He starts with a 4-2 decision over Thomas Snipes of the Citadel, who, incidentally enough, the Citadel with a really good year coming out of the SoCup. Time to pay a visit to the desert with Arizona State right now, and they have a 6-4 lead. This is Nico Ruiz, Max Mayfield of Northwestern.
And Ruiz has done a good job of keeping that right foot in bounds. Oh, but a nice shot there by Mayfield. Now he's got to bring that foot to the inside. Bring it to the inside, slide, 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 and tackle.
That was a good job of pulling him back as far as he could pull. One more pull is what he did, and that made the difference. Always try to get in that situation, get him back as far as you can.
Yep. Really good job, because he wrestled, his back was to the outside, and he shot a sweep single, and then shifted the motion and brought it back in.
Back to the center we go, and a fresh start. 10 seconds remaining. Can Ruiz get out? Riding time not a factor.
Tough wrestling there. A little upset there. But that's what happens. Very competitive now, you know. Nothing chippy, just you want to win so bad.
The three-time NCAA qualifier, Max Mayfield, advances. Sevens is blowing out Derek Fields right now, 10-0.
He's very good from a top position. When he puts a leg in, he does a figure four and continues to put pressure on the shoulders of his opponent. He's looking good in his first NCAA tournament. He's got a lot of confidence. He does believe that he can go with anybody in the country.
He called himself the Hunter coming into this tournament. And keep in mind, he has a win over the 2-seed Peyton Hall of West Virginia.
Indeed he does.
He has been that good for Utah Valley. The 4-seed is the highest for a Wolverine at this tournament since 2021. You go back to Demetrius Romero, the upper weight, at the 2021 NCAAs. Adam Hall in the backdrop, a first-year coach coming over from North Carolina State, the longtime assistant for Pat Popolizio. Break in the action. We'll be back with more from Philadelphia right after this. Good one between a pair of All-Americans. March Law of Ohio State, Lennox Wallach of Virginia Tech, tied at 174.
You did mention two All-Americans. Wallach, he's good with the inside trip, and Harshla is just good in many positions.
Wallach in his first year in Blacksburg, the transfer, had an up and down regular season.
Turned it on late in the year. Watch the inside trip when he comes up here. He'll go jack him up, inside trip. We're under a minute left in the third period. There's the inside trip, inside trip. That's what he's done. That's his bread and butter. He'll jack up, inside trip.
That is how he has made his living first at Columbia, and now in his 1 year in Blacksburg, and he has Hartslaw in a little bit of trouble. 4-1, Wallach trying to capture that second leg.
He'll take that stall call every day, all day. Now,
There's locked hands.
no, that was a stall call.
Oh, stall call.
He said stop the riding time.
Yeah, and so you are right about that, Rock. He'll just stay on top there. He'll take another stall call.
Yep. So at this position, if you let him go, you gotta watch your positioning on stalls. He's got to stay in the center, but he's going to try and ride. Wallach, that roll was not a good idea. So he's going to hold on to dear life here. Short time. Now he can stay here. That Wizard's not going to do anything from Harshlow.
7 seconds. Wallach camped out. He's going to hold this position. And Lennox Wallach is going to win. The All-American advances to the round of 16, a 4-2 win over Carson Harchlaw, the graduate student for Ohio State, coming off his third-place Big Ten show.
When you're in position like that, you go back to what you know best, and that was the inside trip. And we go right back to Keegan O'Toole. Keegan O'Toole going for his third national championship. He does cradles often. This is what he's been known for.
Cradle is hooked up.
That's it.
And there will be no escaping that for Jack. And Wilson underneath, and O'Toole gets the win by full. Same result for Keegan O'Toole, a new weight. Rock talked about the NCAA championships down at 65, now at 174 for the first time in his career. No trouble with his opening round win. The 2 seed is Peyton Hall of West Virginia. Scramble here, a 3-1 lead early in this first period.
Yeah, does a really nice job of hooking that leg there and getting the 3-point takedown. 6-1 now. And he's got him so stretched out, and we've seen before, as he elevates that leg, the shoulders will follow.
All-time wins leader at West Virginia. Got it this year over the incomparable Greg Jones.
Yeah, Jones, the 3-time champion. He won 128 matches during his career. And Peyton Hall, he is homegrown talent, Chester, West Virginia, Oak Glen High School. Potentially dangerous. The referee will stop. 6-1 Hall in this first period. We had a chance to talk to Peyton a couple of weeks ago, and he says this is the most dialed in he's ever been, and he's had a really good career. His 5th NCAA championship appearance.
Peyton Hall is extremely athletic, moves well, and he has very loose knees. When I say loose knees, his knees goes at angles that most people will feel very uncomfortable with, but he's good there. Extremely athletic.
Kennedy and Incontrera there going at it. And last year, Incontrera defeated Kennedy in the dual meet. Iowa visiting the East Coast and Penn. And so Patrick Kennedy having a nice year, solidified his spot at 174 pounds. Trying to get on the podium for the first time as well.
And then Contreras, at the beginning of the year, was the top 10 and had some bumps along the way, but he's home in Philadelphia. And you can't really express how important that is to be home. Sleeping in your bed, knowing where to work out, don't have to be uncomfortable.
Yeah, and the crowd here, they got a nice crowd. They're all sitting together, the Penn alums, but nice takedown there. That'll quiet the crowd down.
Goebel with an explosive mat return, but all able to slip around to that front side. All Peyton Hall right now for West Virginia as he gets up to his feet. He's close to clearing that arm out and getting the escape, and he does. So a double-digit lead for Hall. Meanwhile, Kennedy and Incontrera in a battle, 3-1 late in the first period. Kennedy out in front. Let's go to the pin zone real quickly as action continues fast and furious. The pin zone, and it's Penn State. The 2 seed, Levi Haynes, looking for that cradle, and there it is.
Got the cradle, and he's a returning national champion. We've said it before, Penn State, not only did they win, they put up bonus points. And once they put you in this situation, he kicks the leg out, and when he kicks the leg out, he readjusts his body. And when he readjusts his body, that's when the fall comes. College wrestling, 1 second, pulls out, there it is.
Levi Haynes coming off his third straight Big Ten championship.
It's heading towards what we're looking for in that semifinals. Every match is important, but Levi Haynes gets a fall. Dean Hamley gets a tech fall. Could they meet in the semifinals tomorrow night?
Collision course at 174. Injury timeout. Looks like it's a blood timeout, excuse me, with Kennedy and Incontrera.
And when there's blood in college wrestling, it's unlimited time. It's the referee's discretion. Unlike high school, when it's 5 minutes, once there's blood, the official says it's their time, and they'll say it's for blood, and it can go on and on.
So as they take some time to clean up the blood, Kennedy a 3-1 lead. We'll pick up the action on the other side as we pause for a brief moment here from Philadelphia at 21-0. They have cleaned up the blood. We go back to action, period 2. Patrick Kennedy a 3-2 advantage. This one has been tight. Kennedy off that front headlock with Incontrera.
TJ, you mentioned during our break that Kennedy was one of those loyal guys that decided to stick around when he could have potentially hit that portal.
Yeah, they were undecided to wait for the longest time, you know. Nelson Brands, he was fighting it out. Nelson got back into medical. That's the nephew of Coach Brands, and either of them would have represented the Hawkeyes well, but just a loyal group of people, and Kennedy leads that loyalty list, and getting paid now for it. I mean, you know, figuratively.
Kennedy trying to get away as we take a look at a possible upset brewing with MJ Gaitan. Gaitan throughout his career always known for that big move. He is a pinner, wrestling a very tactical match right now on Kramer of Central Michigan. A 6-1 lead for Gaitan.
And he's continuing to attack. When you have a lead, you don't want to sit on lead. You want to continue to do what it takes to increase that score margin. And there it is again, another takedown. What a good match here by Gaitan.
Yeah, and you were just saying it there, Rock. He was attacking the whole time. On the mat there, his feet were pushing, his laces were down, and his toes were out there, and he drove through the hips and got that takedown on the edge.
Gaitan outperformed his seed at the Big 12s. He won 4 in a row after taking a loss in the quarterfinal round. Spent a lot of time with Derek St. John, one of the assistant coaches on Kevin Dressler's staff, really getting him to wrestle a little bit smarter, when to back off and not put himself in those vulnerable, high-risky situations.
And sometimes in high school you can get away with it because you're just a better athlete, but when you have people that have been seasoned, you got to stay fundamental as often as you can. Good snap down there by Incontrera.
50 seconds left for Kennedy and Incontrera there in the third period.
And this is where the sprint has to start happening for Incontrera. He's in there.
Good hip action by Kennedy there.
It went up to the waist though. Oh, almost to a headlock there. Good sprint here by Incontrera. But really good defense there by Kennedy.
20 seconds to go. Incontrera working hard. Kennedy with that whizzer, and these two crash into the scores table as they run out of real estate.
Incontrera is so close there, and Kennedy keeps dodging the bullet there. He can take a stalling call, and right now the attack has been on by Incontrera.
And Incontrera, when he's getting on those doubles, he's coming across the waist, and by coming across the waist, that allows Kennedy to keep a whizzer.
Short time. 5 seconds, and Incontrera is going to fall short here. Good defense by Kennedy. Going to walk away with a win for the Hawkeye.
Patrick Kennedy for Iowa, able to pick up the win. Kennedy talked about how much success that he has enjoyed. A lot of it can be credited to a couple of former Hawkeyes. Michael Kemmer, a guy who really helped very early on that team race. Carter Starace looking for some history this year. A 4-time NCAA champ, an opportunity to become the sport's first Division I 5-time national champion.
One of the toughest guys. I mean, I'll never forget last year and the injury and walking through this tournament, and you know, obviously very injured with his knee injury, and he's just one of the toughest guys in the sport's ever seen.
That is it. When you look at the history of wrestling and you look at the history of Carter Starace, everyone will agree that he is obviously one of the toughest guys in any decade. He's just dog tough. And when we say tough, we're not just talking about physically tough, but mentally tough. He has a will to win, a will to compete.
He has no thought about stopping competing too. This is just a stop. This is just a journey through. Next is international. He's just wanting to get better and better, be the best that ever was. And he certainly had a great college career, but it's just a start in his mind.
Working hard on Rogers' wrist. Another stall call underneath. Just nothing Caden Rogers can do down underneath for Lehigh, and now working to try to get some exposure here. 5-0 lead for Starace, who has not lost a college match. You have to go all the way back to the Big Ten Finals in 2021 to get some near fall points tacked on at the end of the period. So Starace well on his way. There's a wrestler from Ryder to keep an eye on, and Isaac Dean, a 7-1 lead on Silas Allred. And Brock, we were talking last night, you had Dean circled as one of those guys that could break through this weekend.
He can. Right now, Malachi Duvall is doing a good job on Allred. He's still attacking. He put him on his back earlier in this period and continue to wrestle hard.
Oh, saw that leg get twisted up. Just couldn't stop it in time, and let's hope that Malachi Duvall is going to be all right from George Mason. Oh, that's great to see. Kind of pointed up at the sky and popped right back up. Man, you just hold your breath when you see something like that.
Yeah.
Allred comes in on a shot.
Looks like a neutral danger. That's potentially neutral danger there. Malachi Duvall is doing a good job. Step over, put the leg in, and then get the takedown. Malachi Duvall is up 10-1 on Allred. Just got that takedown. 10-1, first period. What a fantastic start. Malachi Duvall said he's the best dodgeball player in the George Mason room.
He is not dodging anything here. He has put up a barrage of offense in the first period. Duvall, the redshirt junior, out of Center Hall, Pennsylvania, coming off a MAC bronze medal showing. Two-time NCAA qualifier. Stunning Allred right now, 10-1. Allred will start underneath as they move into the second period. Columbia with an 11-0 lead. Evan Bachman of Iowa State transferred in this offseason from Utah Valley. Nick Fine of Columbia in control as they move into the third. So a couple of higher seeded wrestlers in a little bit of trouble. Bachman for Iowa State, Allred for Nebraska.
Yeah, not just a little bit. You know what's stunning is not just that they're up front, but the dominance that they're doing right now. And so, wow, Duvall and Fine.
Columbia's got a new coaching staff, and they are going in the right direction. Look at this. Takedown and near fall points.
Gonna finish it off.
This is a tech fall.
Yeah, gonna finish it off. Might get a fight. Got the fall.
Oh my goodness. A fall.
That's the way you come out here. You come to the NCAAs and you respect nobody.
That's right.
You know, you're intimidated by nobody. Some get it.
Yep.
And they're the ones that we see get this job done. Because I'm telling you, a lot of guys are intimidated just by lower numbers or singlets. And this guy wasn't.
And what happens is once you start winning, winning tastes good, and you start becoming more confident.
We've seen our share of upsets as we go back to action. Gavin Kane, North Carolina. Cartagena Walsh of Rutgers. Want to remind our audience once again, they are having a lot of electrical issues down below with some of our tower clocks, so that is why you're not seeing the clock in the left-hand corner like you normally would. They are continuing to work on that. We just had a moment where 4 of the mats completely froze, so there were delays on 4 separate matches as they straightened out some of the clock and scoring issues. So they will continue to work on that. We'll continue try to bring you the time as much as we can as we follow the action. The NCAAs this year, 64 teams represented, and we give a great big welcome to Bellarmine. They are in the show for the very first time. 2 wrestlers who qualify for the NCAAs. One of those wrestlers out there right now with Devin Hendricks as he takes on the ACC champion from Pitt, Reese Heller.
Had a chance to talk to the head coach at Bellarmine and really excited about what's going on in Kentucky. Said that people need to come by and see what they're doing there.
And Ned Shunk has done a great job there building that program. They had to go about 3 years without being able to officially be involved with the conference and the NCAAs, and they get a breakout this year and got a couple. Going up against Reese Heller, one of my time to shine guys.
It's really been a rapid ascension for Bellarmine. Keep in mind, this was a program that started out as a Division II program just 9 years ago. They went through the 4-year process of reclassification from D2 to D1. And that transition now complete. TJ, you talked about Ned Shuck, who took over the program in July of 21, the 2nd head coach in the short history of the program. Shuck, a familiar name for Hawkeye fans. He wrestled for Iowa back in the early 2000s.
It's a tough situation that Kane is in right now with that knee going against his natural movement. Heller's a guy that won the Midlands and is very unique in how he wrestles. Unconventional, and you have to stick to what you do well. Fundamentals work well against people that scramble and it's kind of squirrely like Heller.
Let's go to the pin zone. Just a few moments ago, Maryland trying to get on the board with a fall.
And that's called a cement job because we're in PA. Cement job there by Jackson Smith. Readjusts his body, and that's tight. Tight. You want to get chest to chest.
It is with that great cow catcher there. And I'm no respecter of Pennsylvania there. It's a cow catcher. And that was great. He had the chin. And you're not going to get out of that cow catcher.
Yeah, that was a good cement job.
Don't let me separate you two up here. Carter Starace has put up double digits. He has 15 on the board. Starace's going to end it right there. A technical full win. The top seed, as expected, showcasing his full arsenal of offense. Another bonus point win in this opening round for Cale Sanderson's Nittany Lions. And a little bit closer to history for Starace as he looks to be. And you will get it as we go back to Rutgers. Now let's check that. Let's go to Allred and Duval. And Quick Kesnick, you've been right down there Matt's side, and that break in the action certainly has benefited Allred. He has found his energy as he works that wing.
I mean, what a gift for him as he was down, 10-1, and they had a technical difficulty with the clock and score in the riding time. It took Conrad Duffy, the official, and Angel Rivera 5 minutes to go through it. Well, all that time, Allred's in the corner talking to Coach Manning, developing a game plan, able to regain his poise, and he has dominated the match since the stoppage.
It's the monster comeback.
30 seconds to go.
4 takedowns, and now a near fall. Allred all the way back from 10-1 to the pin.
Wow. Unbelievable.
Is there a better name for the Huskers than Allred?
Wow. We don't know, but certainly that break has something to do with it. Not saying that Allred would not have done, but I'm just telling you, that break did something for Allred and got himself recalibrated.
Had the opportunity to push the reset button, fought back. Serious adversity, and Silas Allred, in his third NCAA wrestling championship, made the decision to drop a weight earlier this year, with 4 starters all making a decision to drop down, but it was Allred who put the chips in motion for Nebraska. Oklahoma, Wyoming, we go to the pin zone with DJ Parker. First period action, and no fall there as Knightenbach was able to get away. Parker looked like he had him in a spot where he has put a lot of opponents on his back. So Parker ups the ante, now a 5-0 lead for the Sooner. So we swing it over to Chris Foka, Cornell, 4-1. Cornell and Hofstra battling it out here.
They are battling, but a mountain of riding time in Cornell's favor. But it's a 3-point takedown kick that makes a difference. So right now, riding time is security. It's essentially 5-3 Foka. And you have about 1 minute, 15 seconds left. He's still in there. McFarland is wrestling tough. Now Foka has some weird knees here.
Yeah, he's got a funky knee there, and that can you can use that to your advantage all day long. Looking to hook that leg, come around. It's got McFarland where he doesn't want to be, flat. Cross face, come around, hook that leg.
And McFarland's trying to lock his hands. He's trying to just lock his hands and get to a stalemate. We got 45 seconds left.
Nice job by McFarland. They're coming up. Keep that head up. Drive through.
He's got to
get that right arm through.
Yes, that right arm's got to get across. And you see that Foka's trying to block that arm to get through.
You can see that elbow. He's got to slide through that elbow.
Split the legs and kind of drive through the middle. Put him in neutral danger. We got short time here. Under 20 here. Can that arm get through? That arm gets through. He's going to get that takedown. Nothing yet. Nothing yet. Almost there. Short time here. We've got 10 seconds. Is it there? Nothing. Good defense. Wow.
So close. But nice job by Foka of keeping that arm trapped and not able to cut across.
5 seconds remaining in this third period. Foka trying to hang on for Cornell, the 6th year. A couple of last-ditch shots coming from the grad student McFarland, and Chris Foka, his 2nd year at this bigger weight. He told us he feels a lot more equipped. Returned to the lineup right before Christmas. Foka with the riding time, over 2 minutes worth of rest. Stevenson patiently waiting for his turn. Parker Keckeisen as we drop back down to 184. Keckeisen of UNI, the 2 seed. Fulton Hawks of Missouri. 6-1 advantage for Keckeisen, working his top game.
As you watch Parker Keckeisen wrestle, and maybe throughout the tournament, he has really good spatial awareness, where he knows where he is on the mat. Right when he's out of bounds, or looks like someone's out of bounds, he's able to keep part of his body in. He wrestles hard and consistent. One of our partners here, Trent Hidley, had wrestled him several years ago. He said that this guy is really strong, but he said he keeps coming forward. And that's come from Trent Hidley, who always comes forward.
Always. He came forward last night in the exhibition win here in Philadelphia, doing a little freestyle. Great to have Trent Hidley alongside Shane Sparks over on MatCast, ESPN Plus, bringing you every single match here at the NCAA Championships in this opening round. Keckeisen a 6-2 lead, 2nd period. Parker Keckeisen, the redshirt senior, grew up in Glendale, Wisconsin. And we talked to him on a couple of occasions this year, and the arrival of Carter Starachi at this weight, just his initial reaction, I loved his response. He said it really has elevated his game to have such a worthy adversary now in this weight class.
And that's such a great perspective on life. You're not getting nervous right away. Hey, look, I got a worthy adversary. Not just an adversary, someone that's worthy.
Yeah, his attack rate is among the top, and then it creates things. He just knows that if he gets in on any kind of wrestling move, he's going to come out on top. And so puts himself in wrestling position and figures it out, and it all comes from a relentless attack. And you got to have such faith in your shape. Pace, there's only one pace for Keckeisen, and that is straight 100% go.
He told us growing up, his parents always preached consistency. That was the message in the Keckeisen household, and Schwab always re-emphasized that with low margins. People that change the least do the best. You wrestle the same in August as you do in March, and I think that just really hits Keckeisen as you have watched his trajectory throughout his career. He's always been even keel, always consistent, no matter what match, no matter what date, no matter where he is.
And what we saw when they wrestled, when I say they, Carter Starace and Parker Keckeisen wrestled in an all-star match early in the year, came down to one takedown. And what you saw was Parker Keckeisen said that either it's Carter Starace or Parker Keckeisen the same wrestler. They've gotten better since they wrestled some months ago.
Jacob Cardenas, 6-0 lead. Wolfgang Frabel of Army. Maybe one of the better first names among the 330 athletes that we're watching here on this opening session. And a name like Wolfgang, representing the Black Knights of Army, very fitting. Tough customer when you look at Frabel, but just running into a buzzsaw with Cardenas right now.
Cardenas always been good on top. He'll turn you in transition wrestling. Gets a takedown and transitions to tilts.
So offensive-minded. A great job on the world stage, a world medalist in age group world, and found a home here after graduating from Cornell and Michigan to get his last year of eligibility in. What a room there, the RTC at Michigan, and you've got the resources of having your partners that just keep pushing and make you better.
TJ, I loved as you see Cardenas go right back to that double leg. I love what he said when he stepped off the mat after the Keene Invitational earlier this year. He said, all I need is a double leg and a tilt and I'll be just fine.
Well, he's got that double leg down, and he is really tough on top, and that's what makes him a title contender right here at 197 this year.
Big Ten champion, knocking off the nation's #1 and 2 ranked wrestlers en route to the Big Ten title, and he will pick up the major decision win over Frabel, 9-0. Let's not forget real quickly, when you look at Frabel and Army and the job for head coach Kevin Ward, they have 7 qualifiers this year. That's the most that Army has sent to the NCAA since The return of A.J. Ferrari, first period. Ferrari finding new life on the West Coast at Bakersfield. The 2021 NCAA champion back in the sport. 3-0 lead early over West Virginia's Ian Bush.
And he went back to a single. He goes to a single, kind of does a sweep single, and then he locks in what's called an S grip right high on the thigh, putting his head in the person's sternum and finishes there. You'll see him throughout this tournament, that sweep single, S grip, high thigh, takedown. One of the most underrated pieces of his offense is his top work.
Yeah, nice job of going to that near wrist and casting over, then dropping, jump to the other side. See, he's out on his toes, uses his knees when he has Bush down to keep him flat.
Ferrari competed 2 years for John Smith at Oklahoma State back in 21 and 22. He won the 2021 national title at 197, beat Nino Bonacorsi that year 4-2, becoming just the 3rd true freshman in the long, rich history of Oklahoma State wrestling to win a national title. The following year in 22, he started the season 10-0. He was the consensus top-ranked wrestler before a season-ending injury that he sustained in an automobile accident. And my question for you, Rock and TJ, when you look at the 2021 edition of Ferrari and compare that to what we've seen so far, 17 matches he's wrestled, what's been the biggest difference that you've noticed?
Well, the first thing that I've noticed is that he still does what helped him to win the national title. His sweep single, very tough on top, and he's one of the tougher guys to take down. You haven't seen him change that much about him. The only thing that I'm wondering is just the level of competition. He hasn't had that. He did beat Stephen Little, returning All-American for the Pac-12 title. But other than that, he's the same wrestler.
Yeah, and what I've noticed is he does not look rusty. I thought, oh, will he look rusty? You know, and your point, he hasn't wrestled the top dogs yet. But from a standpoint of how he moves, and I think he's matured, actually. I think he's better, as you pointed out, on top. And so, no rust, apparently.
Just like riding a bike, you always know how to ride a bike. AJ Ferrari still knows how to wrestle.
Bakersfield program that has produced 7 Division I national champions since they made the move from Division II back in 1980. The most recent, 1999, was Stephen Neal. Ferrari trying to change that chapter in Bakersfield wrestling history here in 2025. Ferrari trying to change levels near the edge. Ferrari with a 4-0 lead. The winner of this match would get the winner of Busch and Ferrari, Zach Glazier, the transfer from Iowa. 1-0 advantage on Andy Smith of Virginia Tech, one of the better opening round matchups here in this particular weight class at 97.
Andy Smith doesn't do a whole lot in terms of being very dynamic, but he knows what he knows and does it well. And that's one of the things you want to do when you're at this level. Stick to what you know. You're not trying to throw out new stuff. This is an Andy Smith type of match.
Wrestling is funny, isn't it, TJ? It always finds you when you look at these wrestlers. Ferrari on the right, Glazier on the left. They collided in Coralville, Iowa. Soldier salute, and it got a little, what's the word, hostile toward the end.
In the home crowd of Iowa, both of them representing Iowa one way or another. Glazier for the Hawkeyes, and Ferrari thinking about going to school there, so he's training with them. All of a sudden it got chippy, and Ferrari, it was that day that probably Ferrari realized that consequences, you know, actions have consequences, and this would not be the best place for him, at least right now. And then Glazier, because Stephen Buchanan came in, took over 197. He enters the transfer portal, and both of them representing 2 different schools now.
Andy Smith,
there they are together.
Yeah, they are. The possibility of meeting later tonight. But Andy Smith has
something to
different plans. Yeah, the senior from Christiansburg, Virginia, with the takedown. Glazier able to get out. 4-2. Down the home stretch we go. 40 seconds remaining.
And this is what Andy Smith has done. He's very strong in this position, holding position, and knows how to stay right close. Continue to wrestle here, continue to control it. And you can see that AJ Ferrari goes back to a single. Pretty proficient in finishing here. He doesn't have to do too much, and some of you all may be watching saying we would expect a lot more. Win. Win.
Nice attack above the knees, drove through, neutralizes Busch there, and then comes on top.
The 3-time NCAA qualifier who made it to the round of 12 last year, Andy Smith, fought a late season injury. He picks up an impressive first-round win over Zach Glazier of South Dakota State. Smith, head coach Tony Roby and the Hokies hoping to be a part of that team trophy conversation come Saturday. That's a step in the right direction for Smith as the Hokie chant echoes down below. Bronigal of Illinois, the Bronigal brothers. Good to have them back in it. Both veterans for Illinois. Zach Bronigal tied at 5 with Solers of Indiana.
Well, and riding time is in Solers. He got the tied because of the stall, but time runs out. You get 1 point for Solers for riding time, and he avenges an earlier loss and gets past Zach Bronigal.
Maxed out Pitt on the left, 197 pounds, 3-0 lead over Delgado of Cornell. His brother Luke Stout, Princeton, opening couple of minutes. Wrestling Mikey O'Malley of Drexel, scoreless. These two on the same part of the bracket. A win by the Stouts means the Stout family reunion tonight with the stakes pretty high.
I wonder if they talk to each other this week. And if there's a talk, what do you all talk about? Or moreover, if they both win, what do the parents do?
One wears a Pitt shirt, the other puts on a Princeton shirt, right?
Or they exit the arena and come back in after it's over.
But O'Malley here, he's a guy that has good hips. If you're not fundamentally sound on your attacks, he has good hips and able to throw and put you on your back.
Stout brothers grew up in Pennsylvania, Lebanon, PA, as we take a break from the Stouts to look at a possible upset with Brophy and Serber of Oklahoma State. Brophy goes up and over the top.
Up and over the top, and look at the attack. The attack, and not just the attack, we caught him. And not just that, caught him and started to get back points. And at that point, he's just going to stay there throughout this. He does not have to do anything, but just get back points and continue to accumulate riding time and don't have to change positions. The Citadel, Brophy, over Serber. Not much else to do, 0-4.
Patrick Brophy, the redshirt sophomore, the SoCon runner-up. Citadel with that strong year, the runner-up in the SoCon, and one of the reasons they had the success, Brophy, one of 3 Citadel wrestlers to win a SoCon title. First time that's happened for the Citadel since 2014. He is just holding Serber right now, taking a look over at the clock, and a huge win for Patrick Brophy, the 25 seed.
Some people had Serber really doing some things on the championship side, but he's got to work his way on the backside.
We pick up with the 2 Stouts. Maxed out a Pitt on the left, an 8-0 lead. He is in control. Much tighter, though, for Luke Stout as he and O'Malley go twisting and turning their way into the corner. All tied at 3 as they both report back into the center. Riding time, Rock and TJ, not a factor with Luke Stout and O'Malley.
This is where we've talked about this before, TJ, that these guys making a decision to ride on top, to keep their opponent down. And it looks like Stout is starting to make that decision here to keep O'Malley down. 3-3. Riding time is now going in his favor. I guess I should say Luke Stout. I said Stout.
Mac Stout just picked up his final point. The riding time tacked on, so Mac is into the round tonight. A 12-0 win, a major decision. And now the question becomes, will he square off against his brother?
And Stout just got called for stalling. Called for stalling. He has riding time of 36 seconds.
O'Malley needs to do something different than come up to his quad.
Right.
He needs to do something different. It doesn't matter what it is. Or stand up, Granby.
And it's one of the things, you know, it seems like kids don't do stand-ups anymore. They kind of tripod. Sometimes you need to do a stand-up just to do something quickly.
And get yourself in a wrestling position and create something.
Try to hit that roll off that quad pod, but Stout was waiting for it.
Riding time is slowly going into the favor of Stout.
Mac watching very intensely from the corner. He did not head off into the tunnels.
Who is he cheering for? Is he cheering for his brother? Because his brother, but I don't want to wrestle my brother. Look at the quandaries he in.
It's a quandary that not too many here at Nationals have been in.
I'm serious. Who are you cheering for? I want my brother to win, but do I want to wrestle my brother?
Oh, he's got to be pulling for his brother, without a doubt. Stand up again. Stout with over a minute of riding time. Has that wrist control underneath. O'Malley has to try to clear that right arm, that right wrist. 22 seconds.
Did he call him for stalling? Oh no, a load of blood. You got to eat the whistle. You can't call it stall there. So, no, it looks like it's injury time. So, if it's injury time, Stout's going to go underneath.
Gets his choice.
Go neutral.
Because he just chose neutral. And it is such a, it's a quandary because, he hurt and it looked like a quad injury. Doesn't seem like he could come up really fast underneath. But right now, he's got the riding time locked.
I didn't even think about neutral.
You can tell O'Malley not even pushing it. He is early fighting off what appears to be a pretty sustained injury and did not even take a shot in the final 20 seconds. That gives you an idea of the discomfort he is in.
That's how you gut it out, Yeah. Yes, I'll say I injured the ball. Even if I don't do anything, I want to end my match standing, shaking my opponent's hand, looking him in his eye.
The Stout family will get together tonight. Mac and Luke. How about we go to the pin zone? How about Gable Stevenson said he doesn't like to get a fall. He wants to takedown after takedown, give this crowd a show. He changed his thoughts in this first round a few moments ago.
Back there, got the chin, and makes short work of that pin.
Stevenson, the quick fall from Minnesota. Wyatt Volker, UNI. Third period late. Sticks in that half. A 1-0 lead over Jarowski and Ryder.
And Volker, good reversal there.
And escape.
And Volker is known for his Greco, but has been working on his leg attacks a little more.
Minute and a half left in the third period. Volker in on that single there. He's got to suck it in there. Doing a nice job of getting out to his feet, out to the toes with Jarowski putting a lot of weight on top, looking to try to hook that leg. Yeah, that's what Volker wants to do, is cut across, but he can't let Jarowski beat him on the sit through.
Keep in mind, running time not a factor. Key scramble here, inside a minute to go, tied at 2.
No control yet. Still moving. He's got to stay locked in the crotch. And he reverses himself, but
with the leg locked there, he unlocks that leg. Can he get across and hook the leg and get the nice job so far by Jarowski of avoiding being taken down.
What defense that
steps over.
Oh, this is great stuff here. Now he may get it.
Yeah, see, this is what Volker wants to get that head underneath the leg.
20 seconds left. What an A+ penalty. If you reach the other leg, that's it. Nothing. He's locked in there. Good no call. Good no call for the official. Let's keep wrestling here.
7 seconds.
Oh my goodness. Outstanding wrestling there. Good job not to make that takedown call by the official. But of course,
assistant coach Roper of UNI just dropped the brick. They're going to ask the officials to take a look to see if that was a takedown.
He thought that Volker had the 3. The officials come together. They say no. And a sudden victory for the 7 seed Volker and Brock Zarowski, the sophomore out of New Jersey. First time NCAA qualifier for Ryder head coach John Hangy and company this year.
He's in there deep on that shot. He's got to continue to split the legs. He wants to stay between both legs and move up. He's almost there. Little roll action. He got it. What a fantastic win. Great job. The phone call did it.
Brock Zarowski grew up in Court May Courthouse, New Jersey, Lower Cape May. Huge upset in this opening round for the Bronx. A sudden victory win over the 7 seed Volker of UNI. champion banners, 1973, 74, and then again in 74 and 75. Hockey town becomes a wrestling town for 3 days. Greg Kirkley, Penn State, second period in control. He leads Sam Mitchell. First year in Laramie for Mitchell after he transferred in from Buffalo.
The television doesn't do justice to how massive of a wrestler Kirklick is. When you stand beside him, he dwarfs you. You would think he'd be an outside linebacker or defensive end. He's a big, big individual.
Kirkley, the 3 seed, 18-1 this year. Back in on that attack, and that should be it. The technical foul win. He ends at 30 seconds into the third period over Mitchell of Wyoming. More bonus points for Penn State. And you look at the bottom half of the bracket, Kirkley, the 3 seed, Wyatt Hendrickson, the 2 seed. Over on that top half of the bracket, unbeaten Owen Treffin of Lehigh. His first year, the late arrival transferring out of North Carolina State. He wins by technical foul, so the strong season continues for Owen Treffin. Live action with Colton Schultz of Arizona State. There is going to be a serious changing of the guard at heavyweight next year come Cleveland.
You're right about that. Lots of seniors in the top portion of the rankings and the seedings, and it's going to open up for a lot of people.
You talk about consistency. Schultz from Arizona State has been consistent. Consistently, he knows how best to wrestle, his style. He stays in position. He's really hard to beat. He's done a great job with every time he steps on the mat in NCAAs, he walks away as an All-American.
And he is one of the bigger heavyweights. When you look at Colton Schultz's decorated Greco-Roman career, he is a big man. 8-0 winner over Nolan Neves of North Carolina. Upset alert, the Black Knights trying to get on the board with Colbert. He leads Jimmy Mullen of Virginia Tech. Mullen coming off a real strong ACC season, the runner-up. In a world of trouble right now, trailing Colbert 7-1.
It's a whole different feel when you come to the NCAAs. You just don't know what to expect. You got to be ready early. You don't know who you're going to wrestle, how they're feeling. But good job by Colbert. Coming out, 7-1 dominant win.
Colbert at one point this year, back in early February, led the country in major decisions. He is a guy that has scored a lot of points this year for Coach Ward. He's only a freshman, and what a debut here in Philadelphia. 8-1. Brady Colbert for Army. Isaac Trumbull, questions coming into this season. How was his health? A knee injury slowed him down at the ACCs in Durham. But he is having no trouble against his ACC foe, and Peter Ming of Stanford. 6'1", Trumbull working that power half.
His body type is suited well for being a heavyweight. He has heavy hips, he knows how to control, and he's pretty tough on top.
So much pressure forward there by Trumbull. Hooked the ankle back there, and then with the wrist trap, getting the boot in. Ming kind of strapping himself in there. He'd like to be able to get under that leg, but Trumbull on top.
You see Trumbull taking care of business, and we saw Treffin a few moments ago for Lehigh raise his arm in victory. One of the reasons he left NC State was because he had Trumbull to deal with at heavyweight, so it's worked out for both wrestlers. Pat Papalizio helping Treffin find a new home, and both advancing on. So we get our first look at Wyatt Hendrickson of Oklahoma State.
Yeah, he just worked a good short offense, got on the head, and then dropped in on the leg. He's quick and agile.
Hendrickson, a 3-0 lead, and Cleveland State. A lot of attention with the Viking program and their lone NCAA qualifier, Daniel Buknavich. Quint detailed the story of the decision by the administration at Cleveland State. Right now, the final year of wrestling. Buknavich trying to make a push here in this opening round. Dayton Pitzer, the ACC champ, his opponent.
And look at Hendrickson. He had a nice little peek out to duck. Then he uses a butcher. You know, the old butcher, and Hendrickson gets him on his back, reverses half, looking for the pin. Gets it on a collision course with Kirk Fleet from Penn State, the semis, to see who will ultimately get to face Gable Steveson. Of course, a lot of matches left to be wrestled, but they are the favorites. You draw a line after those three. Yep.
Scoreless in the first period. Pitt and Cleveland State.
Pitzer really turned it on at the ACC tournament, came through and got not only the championship, but the outstanding wrestler.
One of the more decorated recruits for Pitt, arriving out of Mount Pleasant area, 3-time Pennsylvania State champion. And Pitzer, one of those wrestlers that is continuing to add weight, used his redshirt year to gain some weight so they could bump him up into this heavyweight division. They knew they had maxed out coming at 197, and really a solid upper weight division when you look at the Panthers. Good fight there to get away in the first point of the match to start this second period.
That was a good job there by getting up and getting the hip separation, and just just really did everything he could. Slid those shoulders down and turned and faced him for the one.
You know, it's an interesting story when you look at Cleveland State. This is the second time that wrestling has been brought up as far as the chopping block goes. Key situation here is that neutral danger count was on. Pitzer is able to turn and get the 3, so Pitzer grabs the 3-1 lead, but that decision came a decade after the school placed wrestling on the chopping block. Once before, 10 years ago, Cleveland State and their wrestlers were able to raise enough money in the spring of 2015 to save the program after the school had announced it.
You just really have the feeling that was another good takedown, of course, by Pitzer, but then that quick escape is so important here. 3-2, and you just feel like there's this extra surge here that Cleveland State representative is trying to rep proudly his school.
Wrestling fans, they did it with Stanford. When they get together and galvanize to bring back programs, wrestling fans, they're the greatest. They come together and they put pressure on administrations. I was talking to Coach Josh Moore. He said got some good news about some potential funding that the school has to now accept. It's just a good situation, and fans, go and support Cleveland State wrestling. Do what you can. It's always good. And how can you have the national championships in Cleveland without Cleveland State?
Quint, you've been following this story closely with Cleveland State.
Yeah, there's a Hail Mary being introduced by Representative Phil Plummer in Ohio, a budget amendment at the state House of Representatives level to raise $800,000 to save Cleveland State men's wrestling and introduce a women's wrestling team. But clearly, this is a late stage Hail Mary. Again, fans, it's hashtag Save CSU Wrestling on Twitter if you want to get involved or get loud.
Yeah, fans, you can do it. You can do it. I'm pushing, I'm asking, put the pressure on, just like we want our favorite wrestler to keep the pressure forward. You can do it. You can keep the pressure on the administration. We want Cleveland State to stick around. We want to be able to have them host the NCAA championship next year. Keep the pressure on, fans.
Pitzer sticking that claw in, a 5-2 lead for the ACC champion, the most outstanding wrestler of the ACC tournament.
Look at that pressure by Pitzer. Pitzer, he really does a nice job with that near wrist there and the pressure forward, flattening him out.
That's a tough ride there. You continue to roll the wrist. You're perpendicular. It's hard for the official to call you for stalling because you're moving. You're not sitting behind on the hips. Good job by Pitzer. He had over 100 pins in his high school career, so he knows how to work well from the top position.
He has just crossed over a minute of riding time, 42 seconds to go in this third period. Pitzer with a 5-2 lead. Buknavich trying to get his thoughts together. You know this is going to be an emotional day, as we have documented, for Daniel Buknavich. Can he work a little late magic on Pitzer? He's up to his feet briefly. Pitzer doing a good job with this ride, though. Hammers him right back down, drapes over that right side of Buknavich's body. And finally that right toe comes up and out of bounds. We go back into the center. Just 26 seconds remaining. Third year in the lineup for Daniel Buknavich. Two-time NCAA qualifier, MAC runner-up a year ago. Completely bellied out underneath. Statement ride here by Pitzer with 10 seconds to go.
You're right, it is a statement ride by what we would consider an undersized heavyweight. He's under 230 pounds, and he's continuing to ride guys that he gives 30 pounds to. And that's it. Good job by the ACC champ.
Riding time point and a 6-2 win for Pitzer in the final match of this opening session. Well, the opening round did not disappoint. We've had our share of upsets. We've seen the stars show up. And coming into the day, the team race was Penn State's, everybody talking